Okay, there we go.
Hey.
I forgot I got to unmute it, then remute it when it goes to the intro. So sorry about that.
Hi, Paul.
Paul?
Kilgenius.
Jeff's in there.
Hey, Jeff Murphy.
Paisan.
Tider Raider. Ron Lee B. Joseph Sereno is in there. DJ Lenny Danger's in there. Paul Edgerton.
The man.
Paul?
The man.
Hooligan Nation. Kenny Blair says morning from
Hey,
Scotland.
Kenny Blair. Got a lot of Scotland folks here lately.
Sure do, too. Paul's been spreading the word in Europe.
Word?
Yeah.
He's our street team.
He's our boots on the ground, man. Matthew Mangus. What's up, bro?
What's up, Matthew? Hit the subscribe while you're in there.
Press the damn button, nerd.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
Hey, Frankie Mosqueda.
What's up, Frankie?
Munster?
Nice. All right, here we go. It's episode number 297, if you can believe it, of Raiders Fan Radio.
Mike Garafolo, NFL Network here in the home office, and you are listening to the Raiders Fan Radio podcast, taking that lighter journey into the dark side with Murf, Swag Jeff, and Michelle. She's got great hair. It's a little pink, it's a little purple, whatever it is. I'll tell you what, if I could grow it, I would sign up for that color today. So listen to her and the entire crew as they give you all the information on the Raiders on the podcast that benefits the One Nation Foundation. It's a great cause. It's a great pod. Tune in, turn it up. Here it comes. All that Raiders info and takes coming at you right now.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, a leaking pass, touchdown!
Miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Piano at the 50, time running down. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio. Take it away, guys.
Oh, I thank you, Brent Musburger. What is up,
That was
Raiders?
awesome.
Wow,
That was.
well,
What a
thank you.
build-up.
Well, thank you. I had to build up enough time for me to take myself off of mute because that's now the way that this thing works. But anyways, we appreciate you, Raider Nation. Appreciate everybody that's joining us live in the chat room tonight for Episode number 297 of Raiders Fan Radio. And thank you to all of those of you that are joining us on the audio podcast as well. We appreciate your patronage around here and appreciate you supporting Raiders Fan Radio. We would just ask that while you're in the building, that you just hit the button. Just hit the button, nerd. That's all you got to do. Just put where's the thing? I got it's there you go.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
Just press the damn button, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up. If you would just do this, us that favor. If you're an audio podcast listener, hit it over there on the YouTubes. If you're on the YouTubes, then hit it over there on the audio podcast just by searching for Raiders Fan Radio on your favorite podcast service or even internet-connected device. We appreciate that very much because not only does it, obviously we want to amplify what our show's doing, but most importantly, our show supports our nonprofit foundation, which is the One Nation Foundation. And with your support, it generates a lot of advertising opportunities for us. And we give 100% of that money away to Raiders-related charities. So thank you to all of those of you that support the show each and every week. So many amazing folks in there. I'm going to leave it to my best friend and yours to shout out the chat room. But I know that we've already got people jumping in there that they're not only are they talking, they're becoming members of Raiders Fan Radio, which you can do. And we've got some perks for you when you become a member of Raiders Fan Radio. And I'll leave that to Michelle to talk to us about that, about what goes on there. But most importantly, I don't do this show alone. So let me go ahead and introduce your co-host for the night. Let's kick it off to my left here at the bar as we're still waiting to get Fan Cave 1.2 done. And then so if you're on the live show watching us, here we are back at the bar again. We'll probably be at the bar for another few more shows at a minimum. But anyways, so on the left side of the bar, my best friend and yours, he is Swag Jeff.
It's styling and profiling.
What up, Swaggo?
Yo, man, I'm fired up to be here. Hey, guys, we don't have to go
Hi,
another.
guys. What did we just turn into a Saturday morning Disney show?
PBS.
Well, yeah, getting our PBS on.
Shut up and let me hype up the team.
Oh,
Hey,
change the channel.
So let's see who's in the chat. I see Vibrator and Paul and Raider Worm and
Are
David.
you sure
D.
you don't do this show alone? Jeez, oh Pete, because I'm fired up to be here. We don't have to go another weekend without Raider football because it is back, baby.
Oh, let's
Raider
go.
football is back,
Let's
man.
go.
Week 1 is on the horizon. We are fired up. And hey, you know, I know we don't do this show alone, but you know we're gonna respect you because someone already pointed out your drip that you got going on, the badass jersey that you're repping. This
old thing.
Oh, that old thing. Absolutely, man. So you got the drip, and I'm rocking Jimmy G tonight. The Jimmy G shirt, man, because I'm fired up because he's my quarterback and all that. So yes, I'm fired up to be here. And Murph, we don't do this show alone.
No. Heck
So,
no, we don't.
So to my left, adorning the bartender spot of the bar tonight, please welcome in Michelle Swag.
Hey, Michelle.
Listen, I'm fired up. Football. It's time.
I'm telling you.
Man, I'm excited. So I'm going to cover the membership thing real quick.
Yes.
And I don't have the card because I've sent them all out that I've made. I got to do a new batch for. If you haven't sent me your address, Michelle at Raiders Fan Radio. That is where I needed to come there so I can keep everybody's address in order. So if you've sent me your address, your card's on the way. It's for the membership. I think it's $5 a month. Correct?
$5 a month.
That's
it. We got 31 members so far.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So if you join, you get the card. I'm sorry, I don't have it, but I'll have it for the next, so I can show it for the next one. But get signed up, man.
Get signed up, and not only do you get the card, which is it's a
Oh, the emojis.
The emojis.
Those are
Talk
my
about the
favorite.
emojis.
Yeah.
So cool.
Okay. So I know. Let's see who. Okay. I think Vibe posted a bunch of emojis. So, yep, she did. There's some of the coolest emojis. That alone to me is worth $5 a month. Like
For sure.
I love a good emoji though. So that's
absolutely. You get emojis. You get badges.
Yeah.
You get all kinds of cool
and
stuff.
your name is in green.
And your name is in green, and then you get the card print there from Michelle, and each one of those things will be numbered individually. We're only going to do 100 of them, and we've got 31 members so far.
That's it.
So appreciate you. And look, it costs you that $5, but 100% of that money goes to the One Nation Foundation.
Yeah.
That's going straight to the foundation, in which you, Raider Nation, not only did you raise a couple $1,000s for Raider Dad this year, you also raised $15,000 for the Foundation.
That is incredible.
It's insane.
Unbelievable.
It's insane what you all have done in support of this show, and most importantly, the One Nation Foundation. And we cannot thank you enough. And so speaking of all those good folks, Swag Jeff, let us know who's in the chat room tonight.
Absolutely. We got DJ Lenny Danger, who just became a member tonight.
Hey,
Pineapple,
thank
Ron
you.
the Mater Raider, Kill Jadis, the Grumpy Raider fan, is in there. Lee B. Paul is in there.
Paul?
Jay Jackson is in there.
Hey, Jay.
Just Win Wendy. Raider Bo, who's repping the show from Wichita, Kansas, is in there.
Nice.
Absolutely. Let's see. Raider Born Rico, our good friend, is
what's
there.
up, Rico?
Yeah, Big Dave is in there.
Don't talk to Vibrator, please.
Hey.
Leave her alone.
Absolutely.
I don't want Mr. Steal Your Girl over there,
That's
Rico.
it. That's it. Raider Worm is in there. David Daly's
Big Worm?
in there. Lalo Moloso's in
Lalo.
there. Let's see. Kevin Wynn's in there.
Hey, Kevin.
Mr. Wrong's in there.
Yeah, hey, Mr. Wrong.
nice.
Yeah. Herman Munster's in there. We got the whole crew.
That's awesome. Yeah, Mr. Ron. So speaking of Scotland, another guy from Scotland, man. We're hearing a lot from the Scottish Raider fans here lately, and we appreciate you all holding it down over there in the UK and Europe abroad. I mean, it's insane. You know, we can look at like our listener map, and you were even talking about this, Michelle, but when you were sending out those cards, how they're going in so many different directions all over the country.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of folks that listen to us in Europe. And so we are so thankful to all of those of you.
It was almost it wasn't a different state for each one, but there were so many different states. I was really surprised when I started going down the address. Like, wow, this is really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, there's a little old show from you know what I mean, from some folks from California that now do it outside in Nashville, Tennessee, about a team that plays in Las Vegas, Nevada, and is listened to globally. Like it's kind of fun. It's
perfect.
And you know, nothing brings us together better than Raider Nation, and especially football season. So we've got a lot to talk to you about tonight. For those of you that are new to the show, we spend the time at the top of the show here kind of doing a little bit of housekeeping. But hey, listen, it's freaking football season, man.
Let's
so
go.
We're gonna get into this
Let's
thing quick.
go.
It is time to talk about the Raiders. So, but before we do that, we always like to take our episode number and tie that back into something that is significant within Raider Nation, and that duty, that duty goes to my best friend and yours, Swag Jeff. So, Swag Jeff, what do we have tonight that's significant about 297?
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, each and every week, our episode number is related back to something significant within Raider Nation, and we're going back on this one.
How far you going back?
Way back.
As we go a little something like this.
Hey, absolutely, because we are going back to October 3rd, 1977.
Ooh,
yeah.
nice,
The Raiders
nice.
played on Monday night, where for so many years they were the kings of the NFL.
Damn straight.
And on this particular night, the Raiders broke out for 3 third-quarter touchdowns, offsetting 3 stupid-ass Kansas City scores in the second quarter. The Raiders went on to defeat the stupid Chiefs by a score of 37-28. That night, the Raiders gained 539 yards from scrimmage, including 297 yards through the air.
Nice one. Nicely done, Swag Jeff.
Well, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get into some contact info, and then we're going to get into some respect.
Woo.
Woo.
Woo! Hey, Raider Nation! You got your old Uncle Mosh here
Hey, Mosh.
with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murf would say it,
909-345-3346.
How about emailing me? You want to email me?
Hey.
Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio
At Facebooker.
Podcast. The Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio. Insta something. Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. The tiki-tiki-taki-talk. TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some of you. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio.
At Twitcher.
Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube.
YouTuber.
Go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good. Oh,
Yep.
Let's go.
We're ready.
Let's go.
We're
Let's
winning
go.
week 1.
We are. That's
Oh,
it.
for
That's,
sure.
we are.
That was
definitely-
all the
Yeah.
team needed.
Hey,
That's it.
we're 1-0.
We did it.
Now
We're
it's time for
1-0.
the Raiders to go
Yeah.
1-0.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, okay, so here at the top of the show, we like to give respect. We don't do shout outs. We don't do props. There's nothing wrong with those things,
Nah.
but we're Italian. We like to give a little bit of respect.
Well, yeah.
Murf, Swaggy J, Nation, it's time for a little respect. You know, respect ain't bought, it ain't sold, it ain't demanded, it ain't negotiated, it's earned. And without blowing smoke or giving shameless plugs, we want to say salute and much respect to the following folks.
Hey, man, Hey, Chandler Jones, what you doing, bro? We're together. Man, don't you know we closed on Labor Day? Hey, how you get fired on your day off, bro?
Oh my gosh. All right. So I want to give respect to a couple of guys today, and actually 2 guys in a show. First off, I want to give respect to the Raiders Spanish language announcer. Let's give it up to a guy that's really becoming a good friend of the show, man. Let's give it up for Harry Ruiz.
Absolutely.
Such a good dude.
Love that guy.
Love that guy. And so we've gotten to know Harry a little bit, starting with the Blitnikoff Foundation last year. Spent a little bit of time with him at the Raider Dad tailgate this year.
Yeah.
And just kind of been on his show now a couple of times. Just kind of, trade paint with him on Twitter once in a while. Anyways.
And I want you to really like lean in on that, like stopping by and seeing us at Raider Dad, because Harry Ruiz works for the Raiders
and
like,
is getting ready to call a game.
Call a game, comes out of the stadium and comes and pays his respect to Raider Dad, comes and chops it up with us for a little bit. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, what more do you want? Like, such a good dude,
Such a good dude, man. Absolutely. So we just respect him for a multitude of reasons. But, this past week, guys like that are high profile don't need to give us flowers.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for him he pops onto the Twitters, they're under the X, and says, "Hey, I'm just stopping by to I forget the exact words, I'm paraphrasing, but he's basically just like, call out Murf and the crew at Raiders Fan Radio and the great work that they're doing. Just support these folks." Like, that meant he didn't have to do that.
Right.
And and it wasn't even like answering another tweet and being like, "Oh yeah, these guys are great." He just wanted to make a tweet about us and and so I can't respect that enough. And he doesn't have to do that. And so, Harry, thank you so much, and appreciate your friendship, and look forward to seeing you at the Blitnikoff Foundation dinner.
Absolutely.
2 months from now, guys.
Oh, that's
Holy
wild.
cow, yep.
Bananas. We're already here. That we're gonna, and so we're gonna be there. So for those of you that don't know, our One Nation Foundation, our nonprofit, gives money to Raiders-related charities, including the Blitnikoff Foundation. And last year, we had the good fortune of not only attending the event, but we got to post up out front, and we got to do interviews as various Raider legends and actors like Chris McDonald, Shooter McGavin are making their way into the dinner. We're going to do that again this year. So check it out. It's on November 3rd. So if you're not able to get to Vegas to be there for the event, keep an eye on Raiders Fan Radio. We will have hopefully a live stream. But internet can be wonky at some of these places.
Well,
So
it's at a different facility this year. So it's at a hotel, which, we might have a little bit better Wi-Fi service.
might have a little bit better. Yeah. So if we can, we'll go live with it, but at a minimum, we'll record it and then upload it right away. So you can see it. And it would only be just like maybe a few hours delayed at top.
Sure.
So we'll get that out. So keep an eye out there for that. Just last year. So we had Christopher McDonald. We had Harry, was our very first interview. Then we had, of course, Fred Biletnikoff. Then we had Rod Martin, 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl if you need him.
Guy.
You love some Rod Martin.
Dude, love him.
Then we had Wayne Mabry, the Violator, joined us.
Yep.
We had George Atkinson, the Hitman, join us, which was amazing. Who am I leaving out? Lincoln Kennedy, stalwart
Lincoln
left tackle for the Raiders during our last Super Bowl run.
Yep, absolutely.
That was amazing.
And then we had folks like, Jim Plunkett and Marcus Allen pop over to the table, say hello, stuff like that. I mean, it was a surreal moment,
it's a
and
dream.
I'm looking forward to it. Man.
Absolutely. Our buddy Mojo sat in with us for a minute.
Sure.
And so we're going to have so many of our good friends of the show, and, not only just through the show, but just our some of our best friends are going to be there. And so we can't wait to get back to Blitnikoff. But anyways, want to make that about Harry. Much respect to Harry, and look forward to joining him again for the Blitnikoff Foundation. All right, one more to get to. I want to give respect to, I gave him respect last week because of his new book release. I'm going to show it to you here. This is our good buddy, Rich Schmelter. He is the author of not only the Raiders Encyclopedia, but this book, The Championship Diary, Super Bowl 18, Los Angeles Raiders versus the Washington Redskins, January 22nd, 1984, by Richard J. Schmelter. And so Rich is a great author. This book just came out. You can find it on Amazon. I'll have a link in the show notes if you want to go out and grab your copy of that. I know that Paul already has his copy.
Nice.
Send us a picture of that. But I want to give Rich respect because he's just fired up his show back here on the network. So flashback, man. So this is where Rich goes and he looks at, like, we take something significant about the Raiders and tie it to an episode number. Rich takes these significant moments and digs in really detailed, really deep, and they're really great listens. They're all about between 10 and 15 minutes long. I think 18 minutes has been the longest show he's had.
Yep.
So they're real easy to just kind of pop on and go through, and he'll take something really specific, whether it be a game or it will be about a player or whatever. One of my favorites is the one he did about Kenny Stabler. And he just kind of goes in and talks about Kenny and his life. And so there's a lot of great content from Rich. If you want to listen to any of those episodes, just go to Raiders Fan Radio. It's audio only. There is no YouTube. It's audio only. Just go to our podcast feed and scroll back, and you'll find it. And there's flashbacks, and he's going up on, this is now going to be episode number 55. And it will be released right before
Millen episode.
The Matt Millen episode. And we'll release that right before we release this episode of Raiders Fan Radio. So look for it on your podcast feed, and cannot thank him enough. And we appreciate him very, very much. That is our buddy, Rich Schmelter. All right, let's, hey, I got an idea.
Okay.
What's that?
Let's talk about the Raiders.
Let's do it.
Marvel idea.
Hey, Raider Nation, this is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murf, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
Man, I've got certain information, all right? Certain things have come to light, and, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
I'm not going to talk about that's kind of a personal situation, and we've never really gone into, those kind of things. So I'm going to steer away from that. It's a private matter, and, if there's something to report on it, then, we'll do that. But as of right now, no.
Right now, okay.
There's nothing to talk about. No, I don't, right now we're going day to day. He's not going to be here today. So we'll kind of take it one day at a time.
Did it warrant some sort of a talk with the team to kind of
Yeah, I'm not going to get into this. You know what I mean? So it's a personal situation. It's a private matter. Want to talk about the game on Sunday? I'll be excited to talk about the game.
Affects the game though, Joe. One of your captains and your leaders.
Yeah, he's not a captain. So it is what it is. Like I said, we're dealing with it internally. We've dealt with it, but we're not going to.
All right. This is bananas. So, in case you're living under a Raider rock,
what in God's holy name was Chandler Jones blathering about?
Jeez. Yeah. All right, so Chandler Jones goes on this tirade. I'm going to save you guys a total recap of the story because really, I mean, if you're a Raider fan and you pay attention to social media, you've seen it. So I'm just going to kind of give you my theory on what I think happened. I think that first off, I'm going to say this, and then we're going to pass it around because I want to hear from you guys too. First and foremost, as soon as this came out, the first thing that popped into my head was, oh, look, something else that everyone's going to freak out about today, and none of us are going to be talking about in 48 hours. Because it's week one. It's time to talk about the freaking Raiders, not this off-season bullshitty kind of stuff that seems to get with us. This is far from the severity of an Antonio Brown situation. This wasn't anything that extreme. I think the guy, whether it was drinking or doing other things or whatever, or just, had one of those kind of naps where you wake up and you don't remember what your name is or whatever, made his way to the facility, didn't realize it was freaking Labor Day, and shit's closed. I think if anything, when I look at Chandler on this, listen, it's not like a loss of respect or anything like that. I just think in general, it's goofy as shit for people that have things happen to them and they run to social media and bitch about it. Because 9 times out of 10 or 99 out of 100 or maybe 999 out of 1,000, it's an emotional take and your emotions don't belong. And I always say, don't put anything serious in your life on freaking Facebook. Save that shit for you and your family and your if it's something for real, save that stuff, man, because there's receipts that you leave a digital footprint. Yeah. Shit doesn't go away. And look, and us as Raider fans, a lot of us, we just not thrive necessarily, but feed off of shit like that. I mean, and this is no knock at any of our good friends that are other content creators, whatever. People are flocking to their YouTubes and making this a giant thing. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
But true. Yeah.
This is nothing.
Yeah.
This is a non-starter. He got confused on what day it was and went off on a tirade. The end. And now we've already heard Max Crosby come out and say, we're handling it in-house. We got Josh McDaniels say, we're handling it in-house. You said Chandler was just on his whatever not long ago, praying hands, saying, we all good. The reason that Josh McDaniels didn't say much about it, he's protecting Chandler. He doesn't want him to look like a fool.
He's doing Chandler a solid and a half. He's doing him a solid and a half, and I've seen so many people since this presser came out where they're like, oh, of course Josh McDaniels isn't saying anything. Why is he being so damn secretive? What would you like for him to say?
Right.
What could he say that would make you feel better about this situation at all? It's a crappy situation. I hate it. And, and as Raider Nation, this is so triggering, right? I understand. I mean,
flashback,
yes,
PTSD.
Sometimes the hot takey stuff that some content creators and stuff like that put out, you're like, ease up. It's going to be okay. On to Denver. We're on to Denver. We're on to, But as Raider Nation, and especially after, Chandler Jones does make reference to Antonio Brown. So
and Alden Smith. Those are the two guys you want to go to advice for.
Holy cow!
What are we doing?
He posts this note sheet that says who his heroes are, which is his brother John Jones, crazy man, Kanye West, okay, Antonio Brown and Alden Smith. Okay, this is so triggering for Raider Nation, right?
Well, yeah, and I think I don't want to get all serious, but those tirades and rants, that felt like a mental break.
That's what I thought. Thank you for saying
scary
that.
Because I don't want, like I said, I don't want to diagnose the guy, but I had a friend who was bipolar, and he stopped taking his medicine, and he went to the post office and demanded his mail because they were keeping his mail from him, and and then started taking his medicine and was like, wow, what the was that? What was I doing?
Right.
And so it just felt so manic. The post was what was Josh McDaniels supposed to say? It is not his business to air someone's issues.
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
So pump the brakes. It also, what the hell do you think? Why do you think you deserve to know what happened? You're a fan. We don't deserve anything to be aired out for us to decipher and distinguish what we think's going on. They handled it.
Right.
It might have been something really serious that needed to be addressed. Why does anybody think they deserve an answer? We deserve an answer.
Right.
Why?
Absolutely.
Well,
it was an uncharacteristic thing to happen. We've seen. I'll let you touch on it. But, frankly, and I know it was kind of coach speak. During the thing. We're not going to talk about it. But I really lean into the fact that McDaniels handled that about the best way that he possibly could.
Yeah.
He didn't even want to talk about it. Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
We're going to handle this in-house. This doesn't need to be a public thing.
Right.
Are we going to get him the help that he needs?
Right.
Is he going to, right the ship? Is he going to come and play on Sundays? That's what the concern is of the team right now.
Yeah.
And I understand that he's also a human being, and we got to be concerned about that. But I mean, I'm telling you, man, I think, when you hear from folks like Josh McDaniels is going to say, we got this, we're going to handle it internally, don't you worry about it. When you hear from folks like Max Crosby that goes, hey, we straight, man.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you see Chandler Jones come out on Twitter today and go, God is good all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so maybe like the team was like, hey man, like, what's going on?
Yeah,
we got
maybe
you.
He panicked when he couldn't get in.
You got us in your corner, bro. Like, it is what it is. But tell us about that. That this may not be so uncharacteristic.
Well, it was funny. So because a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is never happened before." Well, it did, and so he had it was about 7 years ago in New England, and he had basically like not a run-in on it, because I don't want to say that because that would be unfair, but he had an issue and law enforcement was involved and they didn't arrest him, but I don't even think they technically took him into custody, but they took him to the hospital to be evaluated because he was having this, like you said, Michelle, like an episode. I'll just say that. Some sort of an episode. And so, listen, and that's where once the initial, what the hell is this kind of wore off, immediately I'm with you, Michelle. I go to the oh shit, I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
I hope he's not having something major, some kind of a meltdown or whatever, because when you start seeing that kind of stuff and it escalates, that's when people start doing harm to themselves or somebody else. And so listen, I don't know. And I'm with you. I'm not going to try to sit here. I mean, I'm a freaking dopey ass podcaster in my bonus room with my best friends doing a show about my favorite football team. I'm not going to try to speculate on what's going on in someone's personal life. And so because it is such a personal thing, even though it ended up on the internet, and even though it's as a fan, it gets our attention because it's one of the prominent players on our defense of our favorite football team. While I understand the response, I understand the level of engagement, at the same time, it's like once it kind of settles, I'm like, all right, I don't really want to know. It's none of our business nor my business to you know what I mean? It's a personal thing. When he's having something, even if it's just an erratic outburst towards your employer, even that, there's not anything deeper that we need to know about it, I don't think.
No, I was going to say, I think too, for Raider Nation as the fans, our only reference is Antonio Brown to something similar to this. So obviously, we go back, I think he apologized after the first weird thing. Antonio Brown apologized and said he was going to be good, so we only have that to reference. So I get the sort of the panic, but also too, I mean, okay, let's see what Tyree Wilson has to offer. If Chandler can't go Sunday. Let's just see.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, and kind of touching on what you said there, I mean, I said it was triggering, and it really is. And this is frankly made there's going to be so many hot takes that come out of this, right?
Yeah. They're already out there.
I've seen a billion of them already.
That's why the Raiders made the salary cap move.
Oh my gosh, we're going to trade Chandler Jones and a first for Nick Bosa.
Joey Bosa, who signed today for 5 years, $170 million if you need him.
Well, yeah, San Francisco, you just take that. You enjoy that.
Yeah. Oh, it is Nick Bosa, not Joey. My bad. Sorry.
It doesn't matter.
My one piece of advice, sleep on it. When you get triggered by something, sleep on that.
That's when I'm
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Hit the internet. There's a lot of times where some shit happens in my life and I'm like, I'm telling everybody what the and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to pump the brakes.
Absolutely.
Sleep on it. Then see how you feel the next day.
Well, a lot of people in there talk about Barrett Robbins. That was an incredibly sad situation. What happened with Barrett. And listen, and I'll say this and then let's move on. But my last thought about in terms of the competitive side of it, a lot of the folks I think that lash out at the Raiders or Josh McDaniels or whatever entity that they want to blame for Chandler instead of just holding him accountable on his own actions. A lot of those folks are the same ones that go, Chandler Jones sucked last year. Chandler Jones threw a shutout against the Broncos last year. He didn't register a tackle. He didn't register a sack.
Right.
He didn't register on the stat sheet at all. So if you're going to complain about Chandler Jones and his play on the field, and then also at the same time be disrupted by the fact that he may not be around to play, come on now. Don't play one lane or the other, man. It's just kind of the way that I look at it. But and because on those heels, like you said, Michelle, Tyree Wilson is there for a reason.
Yeah.
And Chandler will be a great mentor, and this is all going to be a non-story probably by tomorrow.
Right.
But listen, it was happened. It was the new shit that came to light this week. So we we wanted to dig in on it a little bit. But anyways, the bottom line, at least for me, wish Chandler Jones the absolute best.
Yes.
I hope that this is not an indicator of something else more serious that's going on in his life. And we all going to move on from it quickly. They've moved on from it. Everybody, the leaders of the football team, the coaches and management of the football team, and the player himself have all moved on from it. So guess
on
what?
to Denver.
We're all imperfect
That's
and
right.
shit happens. So
Yeah,
let's move on from it and focus on the big deal, which is, as you said, the freaking Denver game.
Patrick Claybon with NFL Network here. Hey folks, I know 3 things you might like. Do you like football? Do you like the Las Vegas Raiders? Do you like listening to things? I'll add a 4th. Do you like swag?
Yes.
Well, here we got Swag Jeff, Murf, Uncle Mosh. This is Raiders Fan Radio.
Hey, I want to shout out the chat.
Please do.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 97 people in here and 33 likes. So hit the damn button, nerd. Hit the button, man. So we got Wowza in there. We've got Paul Edgerton. We've got Ty Davis. We've got Kill Jadis, the grumpy ass Raider fan. We've got PSP Raider Eds in there. Much respect, PSP. Chuck Raiders in there. Boogie's in there. Let's see, Yoshi's in there, Hooligan Nation's in there, Volker Ball's in there, Ron the Mater Raider, Gary Graham. Let's see, J.N. is in there, Mr. Los Angeles is in there. Storm.
Hey, Mr. Lutz, that's Lalo's son.
Oh, is it? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Foxy Scorpio. Just Win Wendy's in there.
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, Lencho's in there. Custom Cali Tools is in there. Fabricator Gil is in there.
Nice.
Absolutely. Julio Elman's in there. Man, we got the whole crew, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
Well, yeah, just hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we appreciate you all so very, very much in your support of Raiders Fan Radio. Ryan Rangel is another new name in there. We appreciate you all very, very much. All right, so let's get into some of these media comments here. Man, there's some good stuff this week, y'all. All right, so we're gonna
really good stuff this week.
Really good stuff this week. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with Tyree Wilson and his appearance on Good Morning Football over this past spring, so prior to the draft, Tyree Wilson goes on to GMFB, and they were doing this kind of like mock thing where Kyle Brandt, one of the hosts of the show, announces Tyree Wilson as the pick. And you know how like it's very common for players to kind of come across the stage, meet up with the commissioner and give him a big old hug. Well, Tyree Wilson, for those of you that haven't seen this, he goes over to give Kyle Brandt a hug and basically like lifts him up under the armpits. And Kyle Brandt is like a former Princeton running back. He's a big yoked dude. He's not a little fella.
Right.
Tyree Wilson lifts him up like you lift up your toddler.
Like Simba in The Lion King.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Yeah. So he lifts him up and like Kyle's little legs are like just like it's the funniest
It's
damn
amazing.
thing. But anyway, so they were talking there and we're gonna get into some schedule predictions. And we're going to get into some player predictions here in a minute after we get through some of these media bites. But anyways, so they're doing their picks. It's prediction week on Good Morning Football. It's also prediction week for us here at Raiders Fan Radio, and we want to hear yours too. Everybody that's in the chat room when we get rolling on this. But anyways, but they were also talking about who they thought was going to be Defensive Player of the Year. And here's what Kyle Brandt had to say.
I'm going to go somewhere dramatically different. And Jason, you are a guy who played in the league most recently, but you are not the member of the table who has taken an NFL hit most recently. That would be me, and that brings us to our pick. It is a giant chaser of men that had us. We're at the table here, and we thought he was going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. He was going to get drafted that high. It turns out it was the Las Vegas Raiders, and this is the moment that I knew this would be the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Go ahead. Tyree Wilson, outside linebacker, defensive end, Texas Tech.
Yes, he did it. He made it. Give him the.
My lumbar is in my throat. Oh, that's a powerful man. Holy crap. Oh,
that was awesome. That was great.
I need a cigarette.
Broke a rib.
That really happened. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Tyree Wilson from the Las Vegas Raiders. He did not go to Arizona at 3. He went to the Raiders at 7. Yep. And there's the moment right there when my little baby legs are wrapped around him, 20 feet off the ground. Peter's running from the table. Jamie's signaling touchdown.
Height.
I know, and both, and a natural high. Look how high off the ground my bottom is. And then we saw just a little glimpse of him on the field, and we're like, oh my gosh, Tyree Wilson is the strongest man of all time. We know about Crosby on the other side. Here he was in the preseason, just showing up and pushing a 350-pounder into the 20th row. Guys, look out. He was paid, drafted, and employed to chase Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to have double-digit sacks and then some. I love this guy. Tyree Wilson of the Las Vegas Raiders, my defensive rookie of the year. The Raiders.
Ah, there it is, man. Give it up for KB. That was so cool, man. So it's great footage, man. If you haven't seen, I'm sure you can find the YouTube or Twitters or something like that. But we're gonna do our player predictions in a minute and schedule predictions. But I do want to say this real quick on Tyree Wilson, that the knock on him obviously was the foot injury. But outside of that, you heard them talk about it right there. They thought he was going to go number 3 overall to the Cardinals. A lot of people had him projected as a number 1 pick if he wouldn't have been injured. The Raiders absolutely knocked this one out of the park. And anyone that I think that is a little bit of a naysayer, listen, I'm not telling you that he's going to necessarily be defensive rookie of the year. I think there's a good shot at it. But listen, is he going to be the next version of Max Crosby? Is he going to be is he going to be even a Greg Townsend for that matter? We don't know. The jury's still out. He's a rookie. But I think that to make up your mind now and decide that it was a bust or a overswing or whatever like that, I think it's a mistake. When you have that much
truth,
and we've talked about this after post that Cowboys game in the preseason, when you have that level of power and that level of talent, like you can once he learns right, like look how much better Max Crosby was great in his rookie year. Look how much better he is now. He could be defensive player of the year for crying out loud. So give Tyree Wilson that same runway, man. Let him actually play a handful of games and or a season before we start making up our mind.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm telling you, man, Tyree Wilson is going to be the unsung hero for Max Crosby because the power that guy has, he's going to push the quarterbacks to Max Crosby's side of the field. And Max is going to eat him up every time, man. Max Crosby could have 20 sacks this year, and 10 of them are going to be the assist from Tyree Wilson, man. This dude's the truth, man. He's legit, man. That power that we saw, and yes, I understand that it's a third string, tackle that he was facing against the Cowboys, but like picking up a 300-pound dude, that ain't easy, bro.
Weight's weight, man.
Weight is weight,
ball
man.
is ball.
And
like
holy cow, he didn't register a sack, but like he was so unbelievably disruptive in his first time on the field since November of last year, man. Like, whoa.
Okay, Jeff, I got a question for you.
Okay.
All right. So, and I'm gonna sort of put you on the spot.
Okay.
And I don't want to manufacture an opinion here. Okay, but I want to ask a question because I thought you nailed something last year that was so not incredibly profound. I'm not going to oversell it, whatever.
No, you can say that.
Say it. Stand on it.
Lean into that shit, man.
Come on. I thought at the time it was a little bit hot takey, but you crushed it. And the idea was with the Raiders bringing in Devontae Adams,
right?
The ability of Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, all these receiving threats that we had last year, Matt Collins, okay? You said the one that's going to benefit most is Josh Jacobs. And sure as shit, he was the NFL's leading rusher. So you just made a similar point. Now, again, I don't want to force an opinion out of you, but is that if Tyree Wilson is half of what we think that he possibly can be, we all know that Max is going to have a big year anyways.
Yep.
Like, could we see like a 15+ sack type year? Or is that where you're going with it?
100%, man. And it's not just Tyree Wilson. It's the pieces that we brought in, just like last year. You bring in Matt Collins, you bring in Devontae Adams, you bring in all these pieces, and Josh Jacobs was there going, okay, gimme. I got it, man. So now this year you see, Marcus Peters. You see, yes, it's not flashy, but you see Mickey Spillane,
who voted a captain for crying out loud.
Voted a captain, and I've already seen people this offseason compare Spillane to one, nobody enjoyed a good Donnybrook. They're comparing him to Villapiano already.
Well, it's because of 41.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
still.
but also the hard hitting play on the field too, man.
like it.
So, so yes, so I think Max Crosby is just going to eat everyone's lunch this year on behalf of the additions that the Raiders made this offseason.
Yeah, if anyone else had taken Tyree Wilson when we did, they would have been, genius move. Checkers,
right.
checkers. But because we're the Raiders, it's like, I don't know how this is going to play out for them. It's going to play out good. Like
Let's go.
It's going to be good.
Let's go.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm fired up for it. I'm fired up. So so good stuff there, and look forward to seeing what this young man's going to do for the Raiders. All right, so. Okay, not gonna get overhyped here, but that's kind of what we do. It's called Raiders Fan Radio, by the way. So, and I loved it. There was somebody that gave us some shit. I don't know, on one of the social medias or whatever, and they're
Lame.
and they were like, "Oh, these guys look at Raiders with silver and black colored glasses, and all they do is just like they talk about the Raiders, how great they're going to be, and they're going to do this, and like all that, like the idea that we're like just positive all the time."
I love the ones who think we're paid. To talk about
right,
the Raiders.
right.
I wish, shit.
No kidding.
But and we're not even like trying to I don't know, lean into getting a paycheck out of this thing. Like, but listen,
we just love the Raiders.
Hey, I can be bought. Like I'm not.
There is a price.
There is a price. Like you can buy me. Like you, 100%. If the Raiders wanted to buy this show, I will shill for their ass. But that's not what's going on now. It's as far as it is now. I'm still doing the day job. So, anyways. Where was I going with all that?
I don't know.
Even remember. Oh, so the person on Twitter was like, or wherever it was giving a shit. But then somebody jumped into our defense and they're like, dude, the name of the show is Raiders Fan Radio.
Right.
Like, yeah. Shocker.
Oh, God.
And if you're a Raiders fan,
Newsflash.
Sorry, we're fans of the team. My bad.
What color glasses are you wearing?
Dude, thank you.
Come on, man. Like we've kind of been talking about over the course of the past several weeks and maybe for years because we're Raiders Fan Radio. This team should bring you happiness, right? It should bring you enjoyment. And yes, there are dramatic things that happen. There are things that you can be frustrated about. You know what I mean? Like we're all married in significant relationships.
Yeah.
Sometimes our significant other can be frustrating.
Sometimes.
But my gosh,
I'm not.
Not you, Valerie. Never.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
never
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Lamont, he's talking to you.
Absolutely. Come on, Lamont. Be better, bro.
I'm just playing.
Be better, Lamont. Damn it.
I'm just playing. It's me. I'm the problem.
For real though, and I understand that yes, a significant other is not the same as your Raider fandom or anything like that, but something that is near and dear to all of us.
No, the Raiders piss us off all the time.
Yeah, but we should love them no matter what.
Yeah.
This is like for better for worse kind of thing. And I get it; it's been worse for a long time. but what else are we gonna do?
Well, and I think there's, and then I'll throw it to you, Michelle. I think there's context too, and I kind of went on a different direction with this, but that's whatever. It's a discussion. This is what we do. I think there's a context to time of year. Like if you roll the clock back, go back and listen to some of our shows from December of last year. Go back to when we interviewed Rod Martin and we were like, or not Rod Martin, George Atkinson. And we were like, hey, George, what would you tell this team if you could? And he'd say, I can't tell you what I would tell this team because we were all pretty pissed off at what the Raiders were doing last year. There wasn't no goggles clogging up our vision for what the Raiders were in 2022. But listen, as of right now, today, we haven't lost 11 games, right?
Right.
So we're going to be optimistic and encourage and look for positives and things until there's a reason not to. And the second that there's a reason not to, you'll hear us bitching and whining too.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm the F-bomb sommelier because the Raiders be pissing me off. Like, go back and listen to some of my phone calls, and we don't always have the silver and black glasses on. Like, and like you said, depending on the time of the year, it's like a roller coaster. It's like the beginning of the season. Hell yeah, we're about to woo. We're excited, and then a couple losses under our belt. We're like, and then, we're not always butterflies and rainbows, but most of the time we are. Because
until there's a reason not to.
I'm not going to make myself miserable.
Nope.
I can't. I just can't.
This thing should make us happy.
Too many other things are making me miserable in life. It's not going to be the Raiders. I'm not going to let them tank my week. They'll tank a few days. I'm not going to lie. If we lose for a couple days, I'm asking myself, what could they have done different?
Yeah,
that even matters me. But I do ask myself that. But, shit. This is supposed to be fun.
This is fun.
This is supposed to be
This is
fun.
fun, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
that's what they do. They suck us back
They
in.
do.
And not only just us as Raider fans, but they'll get the media sometimes too.
Will they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they will. And so this guy was a ride or die for us last year.
Oh.
And ended up with egg on his face like a lot of us did because we thought the Raiders were going to be AFC championship game contenders last year. But sure enough, they let us all down. And they let down also one Richard Eisen if you need him. And so let's check in with Rich. This is about a 10-minute segment that he does on the Raiders. I've got it edited down to just about 3 to 4 minutes, something like that. But anyways, but yeah, pull up a chair, crack a beverage, and listen to Rich as the Raiders suck him back in again, just like they do us.
I mean, we here. I mean, I feel like, we made it happen, so it ain't no hard feelings now. I mean, I feel like I said, we made it happen, so it's a clean slate with me. It was never really just no hate on each side. I understood it, but at the same time, I understood my value too. So it was just about meeting in the middle.
I was not expecting a bleep immediately.
Yeah, that was he came out hot.
Bleep. We're here.
Hey, we're here, man.
And I don't know what it is, man. But
tell you what, man.
I don't know what it is. It's just I can't shake the Raiders.
Come on, Rich.
I can't shake them.
Yeah. You feeling it?
Well, the autumn wind is a pirate. And I understand, they put their eggs on the pirate ship of Josh McDaniels. They did. And I just can't shake the fact that McDaniels has the quarterback he wants. McDaniels wants this guy. He wanted this guy. He's got him. It's Jimmy G. What if the Jimmy G of, 49ers fame shows up and wings it around, and he knows the offense, and he's going to run it the way McDaniels wants it. And hey, Jimmy, just be careful when you throw it between the numbers. Will you please? What if Josh Jacobs, as he said yesterday, is ready to roll, and he needs the proverbial 1 rep to get ready? And the Josh Jacobs, who ran for 1,653 yards. There is, I believe, the photograph we have on the screen for our radio audience, including those listening in the great city of Las Vegas, Nevada, home of this year's Super Bowl. I believe that's the game in Seattle where he walked it off, or he ran it off. Remember that in overtime? What if that Josh Jacobs shows up? What if the Davante Adams of Rodgers?
Come on, Rich.
And his success shows up. And his year's not about what's happening and who's walking in his path and what he does to that individual while strolling off fields of games that he was up 2 touchdowns in and lost. What if?
We got to bring a bold shit.
They could be the biggest what if team again of this year. Dude, Jacoby Myers is not a bad addition. Renfro, Davante, Josh Jacobs, Jimmy G. They let Waller walk, I know, but he's not a McDaniels tight end either, it appears, right?
Yep.
I think Josh just sent him packing. Yep. I know they don't want to talk about it. It's the Patriot way being brought to Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right, easy with that shit.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You going to pick them to make the playoffs?
I don't know. I don't think so. I
Didn't
can't
you guys
do it again.
You did the West last week when I was
burned.
gone.
I'm burned. Or they could start surprising some teams and put some points on the board. I mean, you know better than most humans how McDaniel's offense, when operated by somebody
very good,
who knows how to do it, knows what the coach wants, knows how the coach can set you up to make quick,
let's go,
decisive throws to guys
Rich
who
knows.
are schemed open.
He sure does.
And, this offense has worked. Clearly, I understand who was the one operating it. But with running backs and wide receivers of far less individual success than Davante Adams and Josh Jacobs. These are some really talented people. And
are you going to pick them to beat the Broncos?
I'll just say it. He's got his small white receiver in the slot. Okay. I don't know if that's what they call it in the offense, but they got
The
it.
SWR.
all
like
call
that.
it,
Run
yeah.
the slot.
Yeah. Do those China routes that you do so well.
Are they going to beat?
whatever they call
You're
them.
not going to pick them to beat the Broncos, though, are you?
Why not?
No, I'm asking you. Are you going
In
to pick
week
them?
one?
Yeah. At Denver, Sean Payton, Russ is lean and mean.
Is Sean Payton? Is he suiting up? Is he?
He's coaching them
All
up.
right. This is what I'm talking myself into right now. Yes.
Let's give it up for Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen.
I love it. So he makes a lot of points in there. But I'm gonna throw it to you first, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I thought was great that he lists out there that we've seen this McDaniels offense do amazing things, like win multiple Super Bowls and championships, right? And he also says, yeah, I get it. Tom Brady was running that offense. But the talent we have at skill positions far exceeds anything that the Patriots ever had. And I think that's a really critical point. Obviously, no one's comparing Jimmy Garoppolo to Tom Brady, although we've seen Jimmy Garoppolo be incredibly efficient in this offense. But those outside players, like those people that are his targets, those people he's going to, it's not even close. Like, I mean, other than maybe like a Wes Welker or Julian Edelman, outside of those guys, the SWRs, right?
Yeah.
Aside from those guys, like who would you take out of those Patriot offense? Gronk? I mean,
Yeah.
Gronk's
Probably.
there, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those
Oh,
two
yeah.
guys, like I think that those guys are comparable. But Devontae Adams, he never had a whiteout as good as that.
Nope.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like so, and Hunter Renfrow is every bit as good to me as at least early in his career as Wes Welker or Amendola.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So like they never had a running back for sure. James White and freaking even going back to Corey Dillon and those.
Sure.
None of
Right.
those are on the level of
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs. So I thought a very, really good point that no one's talking about except for Rich.
Yeah, and also too, like to the Patriot Way thing kind of rubs me the wrong way because I feel like they kind of showed everybody how to do it. You know, like they did it.
It's the blueprint.
So it's the blueprint. But I do think that McDaniels is trying to map out his own path. You know, and I can't wait till we get some separation from because I know like a lot of the things he's doing, he's pulling from, but that's what he knew. Like, what the hell else do you think he's going to do? The Vikings way? No, because he didn't know that. Like, so I can't wait till there's some separation between that. But yeah, like the people that they've pulled in and the people that they have in place, and I know I just said this last week. We are really going to shock some people. I mean, we really are. And I do think people are starting to see it. And I said last week, too, I kind of hate that. I don't like people giving the props because then it's like, oh, as soon as they give us props.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I also appreciate that other people see it, see that. Like, it's going to be good.
Like we're not just making this shit up. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
It's just not like in our heads. We're just
Right.
like, delusional. There's
Absolutely.
good things happening.
Well, and so I want to give respect to Lencho in there. He said Randy Moss was pretty good for them. Absolutely,
Oh,
and that's
sure.
that's a great
yeah.
call out. I think that when you look at like, Randy Moss is a Hall of Famer, right?
Well,
but so is Devontae. So I would
Right.
say that at a minimum, I'd see that it's comparable. But Randy Moss wasn't there long, and I know that Devontae ultimately won't be with us long either.
Yeah.
But I think that like that's a very fair comparison. But even when I think about the core and the group, the entirety of the group. I think that I would still I'll take the Pepsi challenge with this Raider
Devontae
team.
wants to be here too.
Well, that's true too. Thank you. But I'll take that, you know what I mean? And that 1-to-1 going, down the position list, I'll still take our offensive weapons over them. But the other thing in there, and I want to set you up on this one, Jeff, but
Okay.
But I will preface it with this. I don't want to dig in to make this a shit on Derek Carr segment.
Right. Hey, before you do that,
Please.
I do want to touch on what Michelle said because
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I understand that a lot of folks don't like that term Patriot way. That's what we've heard ever since Josh
Yeah.
McDaniels got here.
It's like a slur.
It is.
It is, 100%.
It is.
Yeah.
But like, I really don't like that term, and I understand that that's kind of what it is. But who built the Patriot way? I understand that. Yes, it was. It was Belichick. It was Brady. But Josh McDaniels was a big part of that as well.
Oh, huge.
So,
for sure.
so Patriot way, maybe it's just the McDaniels way.
Oh,
Like,
that's a
you know
good
what I
one.
mean?
Okay,
Like
okay.
don't bring Patriot shit.
Yeah.
Don't say that word if you're a Raider. Like, this is just the McDaniels way of doing things.
Which will eventually be the Raiders' way.
That's amen. And frankly, it's a lot of other teams too.
Yeah.
It's the Raiders'
The
way
NFL's
now.
a copycat league, man. There are other teams that are trying. Freaking, you think Vrabel isn't trying to do the Patriot way?
100%.
With the Titans, you know what I mean? Like, it's
100%.
just when you get teams like, and there's also like, there's the Ram way. Because you don't think that teams are trying to emulate what Sean McVay is doing around the league? There's a reason that all of his freaking coordinators are now head coaches.
There
It's a
you
reason
go.
guys like Mike McDaniel are in the, you don't think Mike McDaniel is trying to do the McVay way in Miami? Of course he is, because they freaking won a championship with that. So, like, I'm with you on that. And so I think that as Raider fans, a lot of us get in our feelings about that term because we automatically hate the Patriots because of the Tuck rule. Well, get over it, man. I'm sorry. Like, I'll never be over the Tuck
Talk
rule.
about a grudge.
Right? I know. I mean, I'll never be over that play.
Sure.
But I'm not mad at Tom Brady. I'm mad at Walt Coleman for a shit call.
There you go.
It has nothing to do with the freaking Patriots. It had everything to do with the freaking Zebras in that game. But anyways, point being, like, I don't have this adverse response to the whole Patriot way thing because, like, whatever the points you guys just made, I don't care what way you want to bring. Just bring a winning way.
Yes.
That's it.
Just win, baby.
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle.
That's it.
End. Bring
That's
a damn
it.
winning way.
That's
All
it.
right.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Derail you.
Dig in on this a little bit. And again, let's not make it about one guy.
Sure.
But I think that there's a value to what Rich was saying there in terms of buy-in.
I think so too.
And I think that there was the reason that our offense sputtered in the second half of games last year. I know the defense could be better, and save me the tweets that it's all about the defense or whatever. I know the defense sucks. Two things can be true at the same time. The offense sucked in the second half, and the freaking defense sucked too at times, okay? So I'm not trying to, let's not absolve one thing by having a conversation or making a point about another. But in terms of the buy-in, Josh McDaniels is not the defensive coordinator. He's the offensive coordinator de facto. So it's his offense is his brainchild. He needs the buy-in from the offensive players. Patrick Graham's job is the defense. So it's two different conversations. When you hear that about sending Waller packing, we all know what happened with the other number 4.
Sure.
We all heard this about this buy-in, the value in McDaniels and that 1-2 get the ball out, the timing of it, the accountability to the play calling. Talk a little bit about that, about how you think that's going to influence this year versus last year.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, obviously play on the field is first and foremost. If you have guys that are, not bought into what's going on, you have guys that, like to change the play, like to do things their way, all that stuff, that's not going to be an efficient offense, But then you dig even deeper into that. You look at the locker room. When you got, clearly we saw last year, Josh Jacobs was pissed. And a lot of people kind of just immediately were like, oh, he's pissed at Josh McDaniels. Oh, he's pissed at this. Oh, he's pissed at that. No, I think he was pissed at some of his teammates that they maybe were putting him in adverse situations. They were putting him in positions where he really was kind of having to carry the team on his back. Because some people weren't catching the ball. Some people were checking out of plays, all that stuff, and not just shitting on those two people. But those two guys kind of were the ones that were, I'd hate to say that you don't want to put losses on those players, but like it was a big part of that, man. Like, so when you have guys that understand the system that will say, yes, coach, I will do what you asked me to do. A guy like Jimmy G, the guy I'm rocking on my chest tonight, man, I'm telling you, man, this may be just what the doctor ordered, man, because this guy, yes, he's not flashy. He's not sexy, on the football field. He is in real life, but,
hey, how do you know about your life?
Hey, don't tell me about your life. But man, like, this could really be a game changer. This could be a real, yes, the quarterback is the most important position in all of professional team sports or anything like that. But like everyone was wanting more. Everyone was wanting the big flashy name. But this is the name we got. And I'm telling you, man, in this offense, this regime, this team, this is exactly, I think, what we needed. And to now bring in a guy, if Jimmy G can coach up a guy like Aiden O'Connell as well to teach him, hey, this is what coach expects. This is what he needs. This is what you need to do. 1-2 ball out. Understand this regime, understand this playbook, understand how to run it. Like, dude, like this could, Jimmy G could be making an impact for the Raiders years and years and years after he's gone.
I totally agree, man. And talk about too, we've also heard Jeff, we've heard about the impacts now of Sir Thomas Brady and about his influence over the quarterback room. Not only his influence over, it's funny because now he's going to be part owner of the Raiders.
Right.
And so they asked Jimmy about are you still going to call him Tom or are you going to call him Mr. Brady? And he's like, that's Tom. That's my guy. And so they were talking about how Tom is mentoring Jimmy and mentoring Aiden O'Connell. And I thought about this day one when the talk was about Tom Brady coming in as part owner. He wasn't going to be just limited to being part owner. He's going to have an influence on the players and on the locker room.
Couldn't agree more.
He's going to be a presence. And so, again, having that winning presence, influencing your team can't be a bad thing. I'm going to say one last thing, too, and then we're going to get into some conversation about the schedule. I think that the buy-in and that we know and we can confirm this, that we've heard from folks that there was changes made to the offense on the field by players that put other players in adverse positions.
Yes.
And it pissed them off. And when you heard stories around locker room and those kinds of things, that's where that stuff was coming from. None of that's going to exist in this version of this offense. Having complete buy-in from the team is incredibly valuable. I'm a junkie for leadership. That's what my degree's in, and I love studying leadership and how people run organizations. And they say that, when you look at leaders, the best leaders craft a vision, right? But if you can't communicate that vision in an effective way and have people embrace your vision, it's worthless. You're absolutely so it's important in leadership to have that first follower, to have those because if you can share that vision with people and they're understanding of it and excited about it, guess what? You as the leader, you can't carry out the vision. Josh McDaniels ain't suiting up. He's dependent on his quarterback first and foremost and the rest of the offense to, here you go, Patriot people, do their job.
There you go.
That's what it's all about. Just do your damn job. Do it the way that we show you how to do it, and we'll all be successful. And that's what position the Raiders are in now. I'm not telling you that certain players are more talented than other or whatever. Those are different conversations. But the group and the personnel that we have now, they are there. They're in, and they're going to do their damn job. Now, does that mean we're going to win 10 games? I don't know. But I think that we're going to see a much different version of the Raiders than we've seen in recent times.
Well, we're going to see Josh McDaniels' offense for the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? I even question, did we see it at all last year? Did we see the real Josh McDaniels offense? Or was it just like with that filter? The filter behind,
there was
the
a
filter under
For
center.
sure.
The filter under center. So
filter.
now we're going to really see it. And I'm fired up for it. I'm ready.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's check in with a good friend of the show.
Good friend.
A good friend of the show. So more importantly, well, not more importantly, because we love his friendship, but he's a supporter of the One Nation Foundation and helped us get to that critical number of $15,000 this year. We are thankful to the boy, Will Compton, for his support of the One Nation Foundation. And listen, okay, we love us some Will.
Love some Will.
He's all about the Raiders.
He is.
Of course
He is all about the damn Raiders.
Once a Raider, always a Raider.
That's right.
He's one of those guys that last year was all in on the Raiders and like Rich Eisen and got burned. Well, Rich Eisen learned his lesson and said, I just don't know if I can go back there again. Well, here comes the Wolf, asked about what he thinks is going to happen in the AFC West this year. And let's check in with what the boy had to say.
The mainstream media is dialed in on the Chiefs losing this year. I don't think they'll win the division.
You don't think
one,
Chiefs win the division?
I think the reign is over. Now they might get into the playoffs, but they're not going to win the division. I think this is the year where the Chiefs' kingdom falls. I believe in the Raiders. I believe in Jimmy G. The boys got Josh Jacobs back. And you got to think right now they don't have Chris Jones in that building in Kansas City. And then without Chris Jones, number one, they're not the greatest defense anyways. But then without Chris Jones, they're abysmal on defense. They need to have Chris Jones. But if they go into the year with not having him, it's just going to make it it's going to be that much more of a hole. And yeah, they are thinner at receiver than years past. And I do think this is the time where all the hot dogging out there by Patrick Mahomes, it catches up to.
Okay.
Couldn't agree more, Will.
Absolutely.
All right, so let me give you just a quick take here, and then we'll hit a break here, Swag Jeff, and then let's get into the schedule talk. Oh, Mr. OG Raider.
Hey,
welcome,
OG Raider.
Newest member of Get Made there. We appreciate you, Mr. OG. Send Michelle an email.
Yes.
At Michelle@RaidersFanRadio.com, and she will send you a one-of-a-kind block print. And so appreciate you very, very much for that. Okay, so like I said, we love Will.
Of course we do.
I don't think the Chiefs are going to not win the division. They are another world good. Patrick Mahomes, and listen, you guys are cringing in your seats right now, and I'm cringing saying it.
I'm cringing.
He's on the verge of becoming the greatest passer and or quarterback that this league has ever seen. It's bananas how good that guy is. And, oh, yeah, by the way, it's the most critical position in all of team sports, especially in the NFL. And they've got a great coach. I know that they're going to have lapses on defense, but when you're that good offensively, it just doesn't matter. And, they're going to be without Kelsey, and I put money on the Lions this week.
Lions are winning this week.
I hope the shit
they're winning.
That's the way
this
it's going.
week.
But until it's like the Raiders, right? It's like we always say, like, until they give us a reason to not be encouraged or not be like we're going to be. Until the Chiefs give us a reason to think that there's, I always think back to the movie Predator, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's walking through the forest, right? And he sees the blood on the plant, and he goes, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." Right? And that's a terrible Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. But the idea is that if they show weakness for us to freaking capitalize on, well, what weakness have the Chiefs shown you yet? And that's where I'm like, they lost Tyreek Hill and freaking won the Super Bowl. So anyways, all that said, this ain't Chiefs fan radio. Will they take a step back? I certainly hope so. I'd hope they take all the steps back. Is this the year the Raiders are going to eclipse the Chiefs and win the division? I don't think so. I think that's still a little bit of a stretch. There's too many things. As much as we just got done professing how much faith we have in McDaniels and the offense and the capability, it's still unproven. So until we start seeing it, and we're going to get into the schedule here in a minute.
Yeah.
The Raiders have a tough as shit schedule to go through, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So I don't think this is the year.
But we're closing the gap this year.
There, I think, is the critical point. Go for it.
Yeah, I think we're closing the gap for sure, and we're gonna. I've already written down my my predictions for the season, and it's a good one. It's a good one, and if you like the lighter side, Journey into the Dark Side, you're gonna like mine.
Okay.
But like you said, like Chris Jones is a game changer. Like, I mean, he's one of those guys, kind of like what we talked about, that do we have it this year with Max? I think so. I think he's going to close out some games for us this year. But like with Khalil Mack, that guy is just a game changer. Yeah. He will change the entire dynamic of the game. And we may not see number 95 in the red and stupid yellow all season long. He might be sitting out. You know what I mean? And so, so when you don't have a guy like that on the field and we can score points, then it becomes those shootout games, like with us and the Chiefs. Like, I think we
always should have beat them last year.
We should have beat them last year. What was that, 30-29 or some stupid score or whatever?
Yeah. And we were up by 17 or whatever.
Right.
And then the second one was a freaking blowout. That wasn't even close. That was ugly as hell. That was after we were already freaking out.
I think. And first of all, shout out to Will for having the pelotas to say that,
good pull.
with his whole chest. But I agree with him because I feel like maybe we don't have the offense. We can compete, and if their defense isn't what it's supposed to be, I think our offense can compete. Maybe it's not on the level of their offense, but I think we can still compete. I think we can win the division.
Let's go.
I think we can.
Come on, Michelle.
So
Give her applause on that one.
I am. I'm with Will on that because I think we can. And I do think that Patrick Mahomes can only dance around for so long until somebody just levels his ass for doing it and, take the penalty or the fine or whatever. Because he gets to ballerina around the field way too many times where I'm like, why isn't somebody just leveling him? He gets a lot of rope. And I think maybe this year he don't get the rope he's used to getting.
That's a great point. And, when you look at the way that the Buccaneers beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I think back also to the way that the Broncos beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. It was, we're going to go hit Russell Wilson on every play.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a read option and you hand the ball off, you're still getting drilled every single play. And once you drill Russell Wilson enough, even back then, that was it. He was gone. He was toast. Like that was ball game. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes when they played the Buccaneers.
Right.
When you get in the backfield and you wreck him, it's Al Davis football. The quarterback must go down. He must go down hard. In the first, I forget what Al's the exact quote is. Like when the first series or the first 3 plays or whatever that is.
Right.
When you do that and you set the tone and you get in their freaking head. So I'm with you, Michelle. So if we can get enough pressure up front and get into Patrick's face and start putting his ass on the ground, and Max Crosby's talking that shit and doing everything that he does.
And if Travis Kelce's knee is a little janky, then he's more human than everybody else.
That's
he's not
true.
some sort of
He's a bitch.
just like superhuman phenom on the damn field. So maybe he's more level with the rest of them, you know?
Good call. Good call. All right, Raider Nation. So, let us know in the chat room what your thoughts are. That Swag Jeff, shout them out in the chat room, and then let's hit a break and jump into this schedule prediction.
Absolutely, man. We've got 126 people in here tonight. Man.
Right on.
Yeah,
Thank
much
y'all.
respect. Wowza, Matthew Mangus, Mr. OG Raider, Paul Edgerton, Stacy Ruff is in there, Trinidad's in there, Lencho, Ty Davis, CPA Joel's in there, Ron, Emmanuel Chavez is in there. Let's see, Big Country's in there. Let's see, Foxy Scorpio's in there. Jason Six is in there. Custom Cali Tools is in there. Michelle Sweat's in there.
Raider Worm.
Raider Worm.
What's up, Big Worm?
Man. Yep. Mr.
Loco
Rom's
Raider.
in there. Yep. Jay Jackson's in there, man. We got the whole crew,
That's
man.
awesome. M85, Joel Denning, CPA Joel, what's up?
Oh, but if we do beat Kansas City, I want to beat them with their full team. Like, I don't want Kelsey out, you know, and then we only won because Kelsey's out or whatever. I want everybody there.
I'll take a win however I can get.
What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Will Compton. You're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with my boys Murf, Swaggy Jeff, and Uncle Mosh. Tune in because they fucking put out a banger podcast.
All right, so as we jump into this schedule prediction, I got some interesting numbers for you guys here. So just starting on week 1, I found this today. This is fantastic. This is just Josh Jacobs alone. Okay, this is the importance of having Josh Jacobs in our football team in our game 1 against the freaking stupid donkeys. Okay, Josh Jacobs versus the Donks. Since entering the league in 2019, running back Josh Jacobs has had more success against the Donkeys than any other team he's faced. Jacobs has helped the Raiders to a 7-0 record in every game he's played against the Donkeys and averages 103 yards, 1.3 touchdowns, and 4.7 yards per carry against Denver. His 721 rushing yards and 9 rushing touchdowns are the most for Jacobs against any other opponent since 2019. When you look at him versus the NFL, so I gave you his numbers against the Broncos. The next 2 are the Chargers and Chiefs, obviously, because we play them the most, so the highest volume. But then the Colts, Bengals, Seahawks, and Texans. His 103 rushing yards per game against Denver are also the second most by any player in NFL history who has played at least 5 games against Denver. So your top 5 list, or excuse me, I'll give you your top 10. Number 1, Kurt Warner, Kurt Warner was the old running back for the Seattle Seahawks. Back in the day, they were in our division in the AFC West. So Kurt Warner had 12 games against the Donks with a 103.8. Josh Jacobs, number 2 on the list. 7 games, a 103 per game average. Then listen to the rest of the names on this list. Walter Payton, Corey Dillon, Ryan Matthews, Priest Holmes, Roger Craig, Larry Johnson, Eric Dickerson, and LaDainian Tomlinson. Every time we find these lists, when you talk about the efficacy of Josh Jacobs in the running game, he's always on this list with Walter Payton, like Roger Craig, like Hall of Famers, anyone? LaDainian Tomlinson?
Yep.
Like Eric Dickerson? Like, my gosh, man. Like, that's how, and this guy's number 2 on the list in 7 games. So, absolutely impressive what the numbers that Josh Jacobs puts up. Absolutely critical to the Raiders winning this first game against the Donkeys. And I'll kick off the discussion for us here. And when we start going down the list of this game of games, when we do our schedule prediction, and chat room, we want to hear from you. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. It's hard for me to keep up with the chat during the show, but I always go back and read it. And so I'm real curious to what your guys' thoughts are when it comes to the Raiders this year. All right, so first game at Denver. I am so stoked it is in September. It ain't
Right.
going to be freezing ass cold out there.
Right.
Like, let's get that game out of the way soon. The boys are going to be gassed a little bit. It's hard playing a Mile High, but they're in better shape now than they're probably going to be for the rest of the year because it's week 1, right? So they're just a little bit beat up from training camp, but they're not into the throes of the season yet. I think Russ is highly overrated. I've always, frankly, thought that for the most part. This whole idea of him throwing the best deep ball in the league, yeah, whatever.
Oh, give me a break.
So stupid. And, I don't think him and Sean Payton are gelling real well.
I don't think so
that
either.
they're-
I don't either.
I think they're the, McDaniels and Carr of that. Like, I think it wouldn't surprise me if once they're out of the clutches of that contract, if the Denver Broncos are doing
they'll
something
move
different.
on from him as
They're
soon as
doing
they
something
possibly
different.
can.
And I think that Russ is one of those guys that we talk about all the time. Like, don't buy into your own hype. I don't think anyone's bought into their own hype more than Russell Wilson. And that's not to disparage his win as a quarterback, but maybe it is because I think the Legion of Boom won that Super Bowl, if you ask me. Anyways,
100%.
we're not afraid of the Denver Broncos. The Las Vegas Raiders have never lost to the Denver Broncos. It's not going to start on Sunday. So give me a W for the Raiders against the Broncos this weekend.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. Yeah, the Broncos, they're just, like Devontae Adams says, they're just not there yet. They're just not there yet, and we're gonna take care of business for sure. But I mean, 2 touchdowns
For Josh?
Oh.
for a 2 touchdown victory.
Oh, 2 touchdown victory. Oh, I got you. Okay, all right.
Yeah, listen, everyone's ready to hear Houston Raiders Steve sing the song.
Let's go.
That's a win. Period.
All right.
Yep.
Love it. Okay, here's where it gets a little dicey, as the kids say.
Is that what the kids are saying?
Kids are calling it dicey. We
That's
got to
coming back.
go. Again, I'm thankful for the weather, and I think that if it wasn't for September, this game might get super ugly. But since we're talking about September 17th, going to Orchard Park and playing the Buffalo Bills, but I don't think we got the horsepower, man. The Buffalo Bills are freaking good. They're going to be an AFC championship, contender at a minimum. Josh Allen is a freaking, after Patrick Mahomes, the conversation kind of starts around him and Burrow and these other guys. So, unfortunately, I think that's an L for us.
No, I said L too. Yeah, I mean, for the same reasons. Yeah, that sadly, week 2, L.
All right.
Yeah,
Swaggo?
I got that too. Yeah, I mean that's
We're also apologetic.
Yeah, well, I mean, Josh Allen is a really good regular season quarterback, and he hasn't got to week 16 at that point yet to choke, but yeah, I think
and he's fresh,
and he's fresh, and that's
he hadn't taken the big hits yet, all
He's
that
fresh.
stuff,
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so then we got the home opener against the Pittsburgh Squealers. All right, as my Uncle Murf used to say, nothing like a town named after a frozen block of urine.
Yeah.
So,
that's it.
this is going to be interesting. I've already heard that the ticket prices for this game are going through the roof.
Sure.
Not only because it's the home opener, but we know Pittsburgh fan travels well. For any of those of you that are like, well, this never happened in Oakland, bullshit. We saw the Oakland Coliseum get taken over by the freaking Steeler fans and their stupid, terrible towels. It just didn't happen as often as the takeovers are happening in Vegas because no one wants to vacation on Hagenberger Road, right? I mean, and that's no disrespect to Oakland. I freaking grew up at the Coliseum, for crying out loud. But here's what I'm telling you is that Vegas is a destination city and people are going to make their vacations or they're going to form their vacations around going and watching their favorite team play. And you've got this team that travels incredibly well. But here's the thing. All them some bitches are going to go home unhappy.
Yeah.
Return their asses back to Eastern Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Pissed off that they just not only did their team lose on the field, but you lost a shit ton of money at the blackjack tables and you can F off with those stupid goddamn towels and all this shit. Like, I'm just old enough to remember that when this team was our most hated rival. You ask old school guys like Uncle Mosh, Uncle Bruz, my Uncle Murf, those guys that for my Raider fan, they all hated the effing Steelers more than anybody because that's who we were playing in the playoffs every year.
Yep.
That's who was knocking us out of AFC championships. We got this I think misplaced hatred for the Patriots. You should hate the Steelers way more than you hate the Patriots. And we're going to kick their goddamn ass in Las Vegas this year.
Let's go. Couldn't agree more. Yep.
Yeah,
Bring
that's
the
the
dub
W.
home. The home opener. Raider Nation is going to be fired up. Yes, we are going to see a lot of terrible towels in the freaking crowd, but it's, and what's that, Sunday night football? Is that Sunday night football? That's how we open it, right?
Yeah.
So we getting that dub.
It's a home opener. I don't care if there are Steelers fans. The team is going to see that, and they're going to bring it.
They're going to
That's
bring
a
it.
W.
Absolutely. And so Bart Essen there corrected me and said Pittsburgh is in Western Pennsylvania. Details.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I was on a rant. Whatever.
It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. Philly, Pittsburgh, whatever. It's all shit up there.
There you go.
No, I'm taking that back. You find people.
No disrespect
in Philly. No disrespect. Like fans, the fans. Of those other teams that aren't. Do we have any? We don't have any people in Pennsylvania that are Raider fans, do we?
Only Jimmy Z.
And freaking Erie. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and the hometown of Fred Biletnikoff. So yes,
that's true.
So that is true. So yeah, no disrespect to Pennsylvania, just to Steelers fans and,
just
and
all disrespect
and Eagles
to them.
fans. Yes, all the disrespect to them. All right, so here we go. So next up, at Los Angeles Chargers, and that's a home game. So you know what I mean. Again, we're not afraid of the division, and I think, as per usual, this team is incredibly overhyped. Justin Hebert and all them other idiots over there, Keenan Allen and
the coach.
Barbecue chicken.
The coach.
Freaking
idiot.
stupid Brandon
Idiot.
Staley. Oh, let's go for it on our own 20-yard line.
Clown.
Yeah, keep doing that shit, clown.
Yep, we love it.
I'm with it. That's a dub for us.
Yep, that's a dub for sure, man. Yeah, like you said, it's a home game for us, and I think the Chargers are going to regress this year. I think yes, they get the hype each and every year, all that good stuff, but I think they're going to be third in the division this year.
I'm with you.
Yep.
I'm with you, Michelle.
Even if they don't regress, they're going to be the same team they were last year, which was the shit team. So
They always underperform.
They always. And they get hyped up like some sort of I don't know what. But yeah.
It's the most fascinating. One of the most fascinating things. And I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
In all of sports, to me, is how the Chargers have had a stranglehold on media since the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, get over it, man. Like, why do they get picked every goddamn year to win that, be an AFC championship game player or a Super Bowl contender or win it all or whatever? Like, let them do something to give you evidence otherwise before you buy into the damn Chargers.
Yep.
And that's not even my Raider fandom and my hatred of this football team talking. I mean, like, for real. Like there's no other team out there that's that's underachieved more than the freaking Chargers in any sport, other than maybe the Cowboys you could throw in that mix. Maybe, like, I don't know, the Yankees you could throw in there. Like, there are some other teams that, like, people hype every year and then they don't do shit. But the freaking Chargers, man, like, they don't even, like, look what they did in the playoffs last year. They had how big of a lead?
27-0 lead. Hello.
Oh, my gosh. And then lost that to the Jaguars?
Yeah.
They weren't playing the freaking 85 Bears. Like, gosh, dang it, man. I don't get it, man. But anyways. So
Chargers going to Charger.
Chargers going to Charger.
That's it, yeah. Enjoy those regular season victories. It doesn't matter, bruh.
It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter, man.
All right, so then we got the Green Bay Packers coming into town.
Okay.
This is the Davante Adams revenge game, if you even want to call it that. I will just call this the Davante Adams show-off game.
Yeah.
This is he's going to catch 3 tutties for freaking 170 yards or something like that. Like, this is going to be a big game for Davante Adams. Their offense, I think, they're going to struggle. I mean, look, Jordan Love's a young guy. He's unproven. By the time we get to week 5, I mean, I think
Crosby's going to eat his ass out.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah. So I think that's a W for us, and that's an ESPN Monday night game, man. So I think that's let's return to form and being the kings of Monday night. Swag Jeff, what say you?
I say we lose this game. As much as
Shut your fat, nasty mouth.
Yes,
Hey,
what?
easy with that fat shit, man.
I need you to explain yourself.
Well, we love the Las Vegas Raiders, right? But the Raiders Raider every now and then.
I don't believe it.
So this, I think, is one of those games where, yes, the Green Bay Packers are not who we thought they were. You know what I mean? Like, Jordan Love, I don't think he's not the long-term answer down there, all that stuff. But I think this is one of those games that we stumble. We're on a roll. At this point, we're 3-1. At this point, we're riding high. The media is starting to notice us. And then we go on national television on Monday Night Football. And I think we lose a close one.
That ain't true.
That ain't true.
That's not true.
That's not
Okay.
true. I thoroughly disagree with that.
That's fine. I love that.
From the Pittsburgh game, I have us on a 5-game win streak.
I'm with you.
So
I would get a hit or run.
I think the Raiders don't do what we expect them to do this year. And they don't Raider, and they win this effing game. So I have it as a
Everyone's calling me negative swag in the chat.
Good.
I have us up winning the division. Shut up.
Well, hey, let him have it.
I'm surprised that's the game you picked us to
Me
lose.
too, because there's another few in there that I'm like, oh, here's where we're going to start shitting the bed.
Yes.
But anyway, but that's fine. Hey, listen, we're not here to list bully you, Jeff.
That's right, yeah.
You do whatever you want to do. Your yum will not be our yuck, okay?
Okay, good.
Hey, wrong as hell, but whatever.
Yeah,
You go with it. Okay, next up, we got the, here we go, Patriot Way.
Hooligan Nation with a $20 donation to the One Nation Foundation says, you take it back, Swaggy. Take it back right now.
Yes, thank you, Hooligan.
We can be bought. Take it
Trinidad
back, Jeff.
says, lock out Jeff. I'm going to start posting some nasty shit on my Instagram story about y'all. Fabricator Gil says, Swag, I'm thinking you need to be bitch slapped.
Yeah, Gil.
Jesus.
I'll save it for after we, but that pan, I might have to pull that pan out.
Corey Flex says, respect Swaggo, you brave fool.
Swaggy downer.
Swag's jersey number is -7.
I love it.
Oh, my
I love
gosh.
it. Let them have a chat room.
Yeah.
That is amazing. All right, so here we go. So we got the New England Patriots at Allegiant Stadium. Last year was a close game. If it wasn't for the, Jacoby Myers, pulling his best, I don't know, Kyle Orton impression, and by throwing it to Chandler Jones, we lose that game. So, but that also was we were winning that game handily before we let that second half comeback happen. So I think that we hold on this time, and I think that, I think that Josh McDaniels has a case of the ass competitively, not personally, but I think he's got a case of the ass for the Patriots and Bill Belichick, and I think he's going to freaking take it to him again. And again, we're at home. So I think there's no way we lose that game, Michelle.
Yeah, this is a win because we're at home. That's it. That's all I got. That's
Yeah,
a win.
win.
Okay,
win.
Tell us how bad we're going to lose this one, Jeff.
Yeah.
What, the Patriots?
Yeah.
Well, no, we're going to win. We're going to beat that ass, bro.
There we go.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. 34-17 is what
All
I
right.
got.
Okay, 34-17. All right, so then we got, so speaking of Kyle Orton and the 85 Bears, well, he didn't play on the 85 Bears, but I've referenced the Bears twice tonight. I don't know why. I think there are certain players, Justin Herbert's one of them.
Right.
Phillip Rivers was one of them.
Right.
I think there are certain players that play quarterback that for whatever reason, the media locks into hyping them and hypes them up to be something more than they are not. If I see another freaking article or piece on Good Morning Football or anywhere else telling me how great Justin Fields is going to be, save it, man. Again, until there's evidence to show otherwise. And, oh, yeah, by the way, none of the Ohio State quarterbacks have ever been any good in the NFL. Until there's evidence otherwise, save me the speculation and the hype around this guy. I don't see it. I don't get it. And there are some players that, they do get a lot of hype, and I get it. I get Joe Burrow, right? I get that why he's a media darling. Sure. You know what I mean? Well, was it Justin Fields? Come on, man. No way.
Are we watching the same game here?
Right, thank you. Are we watching the same shit? Are we watching the same coaching staff?
Yeah.
Are we watching the same defense? Are we watching
the offensive line? That offensive line, okay,
awful.
Cool. Good job, Bears. You drafted Darnell Wright out of Tennessee. Great offensive lineman. You still need 4 more. Justin Fields ran for over 1,000 yards last year because he had to.
And
he probably had 1,000 passing yards because he couldn't get the ball out.
And that's sustainable.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's great.
Exactly.
That's great. Yeah, that's why they had the #1 overall pick last year and traded it away. You know what I mean? So, give me a break. That's a dub for sure.
Yeah, excluding Patrick Mahomes, because he's a level above most of the quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
But most of the quarterbacks that, when running is one of their strengths, sometimes running becomes their first thought. And instead of scanning the field and finding who they're maybe supposed to throw it to, their reaction is, let me run. And so I think, and that's not sustainable. That doesn't last. And I think you eventually get yourself into trouble when you start doing that. I also believe most of the wins that I have, a lot of the wins that I have, are Max Crosby is going to be eating quarterbacks for lunch.
Good call. Good call.
So I really
100%.
think this is another W.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I want to, but we're going to take a pause. We're going to take our bye week from our prediction schedule.
Okay.
Fabricator Gil with a $20 donation to the One Nation Foundation.
Gil.
Yep. And then Intel. Our good buddy Intel with a $50 donation to the One Nation Foundation.
Thank you.
And much respect to our good friend Scott Gilbranson, who was in the chat. Hey,
what's up,
silver and
Scott?
black today. Much respect.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you for those donations. And just real quick, taking a break here, just to let you know, anything that you donate to us goes 100% to our nonprofit, the One Nation Foundation. Somebody asked on Twitter today about if we're a 501c3, and yes, we are. And you can find us on the IRS website, anywhere else you want to find us. We are 100%, an official nonprofit, and give all that money away to Raiders-related charities. So thank you all so very, very much for your
Much
support.
respect.
Much respect. All right, so next up here we got
Week
at
8.
the Detroit Lions. Now, here's one of those things. I'm curious to. I feel like I don't want to make this pick until I see what happens on Thursday night. I want to see what they do to the Chiefs before I freaking just say that, like, oh, they're gonna, this could be a loss. But this is one of those games. It's just it's of course they're playing a dome, but still, it's like later in the season. We're on this 5-game. I've got us on a 5-game run.
Me too.
They're gonna be good, man. They're one way or the other. This isn't hype. They have the talent on the field. They've got the coaching. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, this is no chump team. So I'm gonna put that down as a loss for the Raiders. I don't see us running off 6 straight.
You jackass. Just kidding. I have him losing that one, too. I have him losing that one, too.
I'm like, wait a minute, Jeff, but I inserted logic into my argument. Shots fired.
Sometimes you have to go on feelings,
you
though.
just
It's
then.
okay.
I decided not to.
I actually have it as a loss, too, though, because I'm curious if we have the endurance and the maturity for a 6-game win streak.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that, 6th game, and the Lions, they're no slouches, they're a good team.
Yeah.
So I have it as a loss.
Okay. All right. There we go. So a loss all the way around. All right. So here we go.
Respect Silver and Black today with a $20 donation.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Scott.
Respect, brother.
Hey, and go get your Midtown Mo and your Irish Cannon shirt, DC4L.
Oh, I just ordered my Midtown Mo hoodie.
Hoodie.
Did you?
I did.
Nice.
It's almost hoodie season.
It is. Me too. Time for pumpkin spice and freaking
you're
hoodies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Damn right, Murf.
Yeah. Even if you're not a fan of pumpkin spice, when it comes out, it means football's around the corner.
Absolutely.
All right. So we appreciate all of you so very, very much. Those very kind donations. All right. So I think that this is where we hit a little bit of a slide because there's usually a game on the schedule like you were talking about. Okay. The one you thought we were going to lose against the Packers. I think it's the Giants. I think this is our home game.
We lose the Giants?
I think we lose the Giants. The Giants are good, right? They've got some great players. I think, speaking of Darren Waller, right? I hate it, but this is one of those games where we shouldn't lose this game, but I feel like they're talented enough, and we're going to hit we can't rattle off like this. We're not going to win 12 games this year. And we're going to lose at home. I don't think we're going to go undefeated at home. I think this might be the one where we do it. And so I think we get we lose to the Giants. I'm hoping for a close game. Hope we win it, well, obviously, but I think we're going to get snuck up on this one.
So I have us winning this game
Yeah,
because
you do.
I think that Darren Waller's going to overachieve and he's not going to play as good as he thinks he's going to play because I think he's really wants to show out in this game. So and also we're going to be in town. So
that's Politnikoff weekend. We'll all be there.
Weekend.
They'll be playing hard for us.
I feel like they're going to be exactly, Jeff.
Yep.
That's a W. I have it as a W.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I've got that as a dub too, man. And Ty Davis says, nah, Waller will be hurt by this time.
Exactly.
That's
and
true.
you know what? And that's
a good point.
very, very possible.
I almost
but
said he was going to get hurt in this game, but I didn't want to say that. I
yeah,
didn't want to put that
and I
Jojo
think
Juju
this
on
is
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if he gets hurt in this game? Oh my god!
well, he's gonna drop a couple of touchdown passes for sure if he does play. But I think this is actually, and it's gonna be really, really sweet because this is the game that Michael Mayer is gonna show out. Michael Mayer, Darren Waller's replacement. I think he's gonna have a pair of scores in this game. I think they're gonna win, and they're gonna win soundly.
Okay.
Yep.
I like
Okay.
it.
Yep. 100%.
All right. I like it. All right. So here's, speaking of overhyped football teams,
Yeah.
back-to-back New York teams at Allegiant Stadium, and Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are going to get the better of us, man. I
Yeah,
think that,
they're-
again, there's so much talent on that team. Everyone's talking about their defense, of course, and their defense is going to be great. But offensively, man, maybe I'm a prisoner of hard knocks, and I just finished watching the last episode last night. But man, they are good. I think Robert Saleh is an incredible head coach.
Yeah.
Him and Dan Campbell in Detroit, they've got that same vibe, that like real gritty, old school like approach and mentality. And I think that guys want to play for guys like that. And Bob Saleh obviously had an incredible run of success with the Niners as their defensive coordinator. He's got his team playing hard defensively and offensively. Aaron Rodgers is just enough to get him over the top. And then, I think that it's a Sunday night game, and it's an old school rivalry too. Raiders-Jets goes back a long way, going all the way back to the Heidi game.
Yeah.
But I think the Jets get the better of us on this day.
Yeah, I have it as an L too.
Yeah.
I think that was game 10. Aaron Rodgers is going to be he's going to be in sync with
Yeah.
everybody. I do think this is an L.
Yeah. Well, and now this is the first time that Devontae Adams will play Aaron Rodgers, right? So that'll be super hyped, and that'll be one that everyone's gonna be hyped
it's on
about.
Sunday Night Football.
Why it's on
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football, and I'm with you, man. I think we take the L here. I mean, I think this is one of those games. Like you said, the Jets are gonna be sneaky good. I mean, not even sneaky really
Right.
at this point. We've seen it on TV. Like, I mean, they're good.
They're good.
They're
You
good.
can't assemble that much talent on the field and not expect them to be highly competitive. And are they going to are they AFC Championship worthy? I don't know, because a lot of people are picking them to win. I don't know, man, because the Bengals, Bills, and Chiefs are still out there. So you know what I mean. So I don't know if the Jets are that good
I
to
have a
make.
dumb question. Who was their quarterback last year?
Zach Wilson.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
who's
right.
still
Okay,
there.
okay.
He's backing
Oh,
up
that's
A-Rod.
right.
Yeah,
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So next up, listen, we sort of exercised the East Coast demon, but the Raiders going to the East Coast, to the farthest reaches of the East Coast, usually doesn't go good for us. We don't win in Miami. We don't win in Baltimore. We don't win in New York. Those are challenging things for us to do, even Pittsburgh. I think that we lose against the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are awesome, and I think that they're going to be hitting a stride mid-season. Again, a team that's got incredible talent. They are really well coached, and it's an East Coast game for them. It ain't easy for the Raiders to go to the East Coast, just the logistics of it, and it's shown up multiple times. I mean, yes, Derek Carr has had some success, and the Raiders have had some success in playing on the East Coast, but for the most part, when you look at the Raiders, even over the past 20 years, I think back to that game in Atlanta, Michelle. That was awful.
Trigger. Yeah.
Awful.
That was
I mean, the Raiders
that was
are
unreal.
ass for the most part on the
Yeah.
East Coast. And
Right.
or you know what I mean? And I'm not even talking about the Eastern time zone, but I'm talking about when you get to the furthest reaches of the East Coast,
Yeah.
we're terrible. So anyway, I think we're going to lose that game.
I'm with you, man. I have this as a loss as well, and I think this is kind of like what you said. This is our game that there's typically one a year that we get blown out. And I think this is the game. I think this is the game. This is one of those like 31-7 kind of games where we're like, what the
hell
shit just
happened? Yeah.
Like, we're in a daze. This is when Michelle would call in, in previous seasons, and just every other word is an F-bomb. Like, this is going to be one of those games where we're just like, what the shit just happened?
Because Tyreek Hill just scored 4 touchdowns and went for 185 yards.
There you go.
So I actually have this as a W.
Good. For you.
Good.
God dang
Let
it,
me
Michelle.
tell
We
you
love
why.
you.
Let me tell you why. And I don't want to put this juju out there, but Tua takes one bad hit in those first, 11 games? And he
That's scary.
already I worry.
Oh, me
as
too.
A mom,
I'm
like,
yeah.
I don't think he should be playing anymore. But I get it. Like, you got that in you. You want to play. But 1 or 2 rough plays for him, and he's not going to be the guy. So I don't know if by week 11 he's the guy. And like I said, I don't want to put that out there, but
it's fair. It's fair to consider.
Like, how is that
Yeah.
not, especially after seeing last year, like the amount of time, it almost, I don't want to say it's inevitable, but dude, please take care. Man, y'all better have the most freaking rock hard offensive line, and y'all all better be fighting to keep him on his feet. But I don't think that's how that plays out.
Yeah, well, and Ty Davis just said, I don't wish it, but it's definitely a possibility. I think that's
how
very
I'm
fair to
saying,
consider it, Michelle.
So
I'm with
I
you.
think that's a W.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Who's his backup?
I don't even know. The chat room will know. You guys know more about football than we do.
I was like, Fitzmagic's the only one I remember, but that was a while ago. That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
So
I don't even know who's there.
Because
they didn't draft anybody high profile or anything.
I didn't think so.
I don't think so.
So
yeah.
I think that's a W.
That's a good call. All right, so good stuff there. All right, so next up we've got the Kansas City Chiefs in Allegiant.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna beat them. I think we're gonna beat the friggin' Chiefs. We've now been, according to my schedule, we were on a 3-game losing streak. We're going into the bye week, not coming out of it, because we all know what Andy Reid is like coming out of the bye week. Going into it is a different story. And I think that we're going to catch them sleeping. I think that we're going to catch the freaking Chiefs, and we're going to beat. It's a division game. It's freaking Thanksgiving. It's not Thanksgiving Day, obviously, but it's on the 26th, right? So it's right in there with it. I think that the Raiders are going to win this freaking football game, man, because, whatever. I'll get to the other game later. But I think this is the one where we're going to catch them. We're going to catch them, and this is going to keep us competitive within the division, and that's what's going to help us get a wild card potentially. So I got the Chiefs winning. Jeff? The Raiders winning.
I think we're losing this game. Michelle?
Oh, no. I think we win because we're at home. I have us
bingo.
as an L in Kansas City, but as we get further down, I'll say that. But this is a W.
And Wowza in the chat says it's a must win.
Yeah.
That will be a must be if we go according to kind of the rhythm here.
Right.
That's going to be, if we're going to remain competitive for this season.
Yeah.
We've got to get off the schneid and we've got to beat them. Okay.
I think we split it with Kansas
so in
City.
my schedule here, so I've got us on a 3-game skid before the bye week. So so you know that bye week, everyone's going to be like, oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
See, I have us on a 2-win skid going into the bye week. So.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. All right. So we start to get this thing turned around. We go into the bye week, and then we've got the Minnesota Vikings at home. All of those skull screaming, yellow-haired, purple-wearing idiots are all going to go home back to Minnesota really freaking pissed off because we're going to beat your ass.
Absolutely.
We are going to freaking save me Justin Jefferson. Certainly save me Kirk Cousins. You got no Dalvin Cook. The defense has got questions. We're going to smoke the freaking Vikings.
Yep. Dub for sure, man. Yeah, I think this is a game where you see Max Crosby fresh out of a bye week. He puts Kirk Cousins on his ass probably about 3 times. We see, even maybe a Marcus Peters pick 6. So yeah, this is like a good, fresh, rejuvenated out of the bye week defense.
And that's usually when they start dropping off too.
Yeah.
Vikings will start dropping off. You know what I mean? They might sneak into the playoffs and then get smoked in the first round. But I like that one.
I got it as a W too because I think coming off the bye week, I think we're going to be locked in, especially with all the wins I have us already having. We know we're going to the playoffs. So they're going to go into this game.
God bless you, Michelle.
Killing their asses.
I love it.
That is so funny. All right, so next up we got a Thursday night game off of a short week at home against the Chargers. I'm gonna
you rat bastard.
You better not what?
We're not gonna sweep them. This is gonna be a Thursday night game. I have this vision.
I think we need to lock Murf out.
Please do, and I hope I'm dead ass wrong.
You are.
But I have this vision of all of us on our text groups and all that kind of stuff.
Oh God.
Playing the Chargers and us all just collectively on Thursday night because we're not all together.
Home?
Going, what the hell just happened? Why did we just lose this football game? Why did Marcus
Chat,
Mariota?
I need you to just tear Murf a new one right now.
Do you remember what your boy Mariota looked like? Remember that?
It
had an amazing
he didn't have
performance.
to go there, Jeff.
It was great.
He had an amazing performance that game.
Yeah.
And we lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't Marcus Mariota. It's number 10. It's Jimmy
Period.
Garoppolo.
Period.
It's Jimmy G.
Or
Jimmy G's
or
gonna
he's
get it
hurt
done.
and it's going to be Brian Hoyer.
Shut your damn dirty mouth.
That's what I'm saying. This is going to be one of those goofy ass weeks in games, and we're going to be like, damn it, Jimmy's out for 2 weeks. And here we go. Brian Hoyer goes marching out there and gets his ass whipped by the Chargers.
Yeah, no, that ain't going to happen, man, because Jimmy G's going to be healthy. We are going to see our Las Vegas Raiders in that AFL jersey, and that is going to be a big dub for sure.
Yeah, I have it as a
You mean
I have it as
this AFL jersey?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have it as a dub too because it's the Chargers. And I don't think they get trapped by the Chargers. I think they know it's a divisional game. They know we're getting close to the end. They know what's at stake. this is a W.
Yep.
Okay, good deal.
Yep.
Hope I'm wrong.
You are.
All right.
Yeah.
At Kansas City, see, this is where I'm inserting my realistic expectations this year because last year we whatever. I'll save you all that. And we've got to get to see a fans. We're gonna finish this up and then get to see a fans here in a minute, guys.
Yep.
At Kansas City Chiefs, we lose.
Yeah, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah,
that's what I got.
Nope. Win. Win for
At
me.
Kansas
Win
City?
for me. Yep, because we finally have a quarterback that can play in
the
cold effing weather. Let's go. This is Kansas City on Christmas Day, and Santa will bring us a gift, and Jimmy G brings in a win. We are avenging our loss that we took at home against the Chiefs, and the Kansas City Chiefs will fall at home. Arrowhead Stadium will be renamed Jimmy G Stadium.
For the first or Jimmy G for the first time, I had both my feet on the ground. I do have this as a loss. I do have
Okay.
it because I think
All right.
we split wins and losses with Kansas City.
We do.
Okay. All right. All right. Next up, we've got at Indianapolis Colts. I think that
Easy.
better be a runaway,
Easy.
My
especially if we lose to Kansas City.
This is our blowout win.
This is it.
Should
This is
be
the
the
one.
one.
This is the one.
That should be the one. All right. And then to close out the season, we're going to beat the hell out of the Donkeys again
Yep,
because
just like finish what we started and start what we finished, man. Yeah, week 1 is a dub and week 18 is a dub.
Absolutely. And just like the chat room saying in there, Big Surge says, I see JJ running all over them. Yeah, Big Surge, if you missed what the numbers I ran down about how effective Josh Jacobs is against the Donkeys, I think that's a slam dunk. All right, let's add them up. Let's add them up and see what we got. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mine's
6,
ridiculous.
Oh, I see your number,
7,
Jesus.
Mine's
8,
ridiculous.
I love it.
9.
I love your number the best.
All right, so I'll go with mine first, okay?
There you
And and listen, this is not premeditated. I just did this all on the fly. But this is exactly what I've been screaming for those of you that listen to the show enough. This is exactly what I think is going to happen with the Raiders. We had 6 wins under Josh McDaniels. We are going to win 9 games and go 9-7 is what I have us, because it will be enough of an improvement for them to say, hey, we got better, but we still didn't make the playoffs, and we'll get a mid-draft pick. That's where this thing is going to go. It took the same trajectory with John Gruden, and I think it's going to take the same trajectory with these guys. And, it's going to be enough for us because we'll say, oh, look, we beat Kansas City in a game. Like, we went on this 5-game winning streak. Like, we had some amazing things happen through the season, but it just wasn't enough. And we finished just outside just outside us getting a wild card. I'm telling you, it's going to be 9-8 this year. It will be a winning record, and they will tout that as the improvement for the 2023 season.
I love it, Murph. You're wrong.
Yeah.
You're big
For
wrong
sure.
for sure. Unfortunately for our Las Vegas
Keep
Raiders,
the receipts, as the kids say.
There you go. We're not winning the division this year. And I hate to say that, but we are going to be 11-6. 11-6 for sure. Shut up, Murph.
Oh, wait till you hear my
Damn
number.
jackass. Yeah. Easy with that shit. But yeah, man. Yep, absolutely. Michelle.
Well, it is Raiders fan radio.
I've snuck in. I saw your number. Why don't you go ahead and tell the world?
Okay, so first of all, I feel like I explained all of the wins with, I think I did.
You did too. I don't think you
and
overstepped. No.
I have us going
Do it.
13-4.
Let's go!
Hey, Michelle.
I don't believe you.
Well, you better believe it, and you better believe it today. I think I did, though, have them 11 and something like when we did it a while back. So we've won 2 more games since the last time.
All right.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh,
I just want to say
Amazing.
something. I'm scrolling through the
Okay.
chat right now.
Okay.
I don't see yes, it's called Murph's Fan Cave. Let's all give Murph a little bit of shit
Give
tonight.
him some shit. 9-8.
I
What the F is
got
that?
so much shit
You
for
did.
saying that we
One
were going
game.
to lose week 5 to the Green Bay freaking Packers, and he said that we're going to go 9-8.
Yeah.
Because I'm right.
No, you're
No,
not.
I think we will
You
win
damn
more than 9
jackass.
games.
No.
Put
Listen.
a pin in it. We will win more than 9.
Michelle, we're going to keep this receipt.
Yeah, keep it.
Here,
Keep this
I'll give you.
receipt.
Here you go. Take mine. Here.
I don't want your nasty shit that you got over there.
No, we don't.
No, take
Yeah.
it. Take it so you can reference that shit when I'm
I
right
won't
this year.
forget.
We're going to the playoffs for sure.
I don't think so, guys.
Damn it,
I don't think so.
I'm trying to get you on board.
Nah,
Gosh,
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, Val, you damn right. She said Michelle is a true Raider fan.
Listen, there's a
Come get your man's vibe. Come get your
Come get
man's.
your man's.
Listen.
I think 10 is a good like average for what do you how many do you said 11?
11. I got 11.
I think 10 is a
Okay.
realistic, but I think 13 is not out of the realm of possibility.
Of course. Why not us?
Because any given
not
Sunday,
us?
any given Sunday, why not us?
Say
it again, Murph, with your chest. Say it. Say it. Why not us? Say it. We
Dang it, man.
deserve
Why
this.
not us?
We're like Charlie Bucket with the golden ticket when his mom is like, Charlie, you're no different than the rest of the people that want the golden. She's like, but I want it more. He says it. I want it more. Say it with your
One
chest.
ticket, I expect you to get all 5.
Thank you, Grandpa Joe.
Oh my God.
Grandpa Joe. Wow.
First of all, F him.
Bro.
He could have been
For
working.
real.
He was dancing, doing
Get
a
your
jig and
lazy
stuff.
ass
Get your
up out of the
lazy ass
bed,
out
bro.
Could have
Jeez,
easily
OP.
been, man.
Hey, more of you and less of us is
Oh, that's
obviously
right.
a good thing.
Oh my gosh. You're out of control.
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught, he throws. It is.
Oh my gosh. Chad's killing me. Oh my gosh. Murph's in timeout tonight. Says vibrator. What was it? One of the Mangus is in there giving she's Murph, come on.
Why not us? That's the question.
Why not? Well, listen, see.
No, I get it.
And
I know.
I'll just say it briefly, and then I want to get on to see if fans. I'll just say this, Michelle. They're like, last year, everything lined up perfectly. And we were all expecting the Raiders to make this incredible run. And I've joked on this show numerous times over the years that at certain points of the season, I thank the Raiders for relieving me of the
Right,
burden of
yeah.
expectation, right? You guys heard me say that a
Yeah.
lot. This was the year, though, I was so disappointed and so let down because I felt like there was literally nothing else the Raiders could have done aside from some nitpicky stuff to put us in a position to be a really competitive football team.
You're right.
And so, like I've been saying, until they give us reason to believe otherwise, that's where I've finally at 50 years old, have finally landed on tempered expectations to where I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go, like, in my silver and black heart, I think we're going to be 17-0.
Sure.
Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get it
Oh,
twisted.
for sure.
You know what I mean, Raider Nation? The ink don't freaking come off. But like, and I will expect them to win every game with my heart. But with my head and looking at it objectively now, I have trouble with it.
No. I feel you. No, 1,000%. I really do think we can win every game, but realistically, I get where you're coming from, and especially coming off of last season where everybody thought we were gonna just freaking take the league by storm, and we just shit the bed. It makes sense to go into this with a little bit of trepidation. Like I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get
Yeah.
that. I really do. Even though I do stand on every win that I do think we get, but ask me again after 4 games, 3 or 4 games, let me see how the offense plays out. Let me see if the defense is really going to bring it. And then I may change my thoughts on this.
Well, and that schedule, man. I mean, listen, Raider Nation, I'm not here to shit on our team or to put negative thoughts in your head or whatever, but I'm telling you, there's a very real world scenario where we're 1-4 after the first 5 weeks. And there's a real world scenario where we're 5-1. But when you look at the schedule, look at the competitiveness of our schedule, it's tough. And last thing I'll say, and then we want to get to see it, fans. This is what's going to be really comical to me. And purely from a, like, I don't know, just like a bystander, point of view, the Saints have the easiest schedule, like maybe in all of football. And so I could just see the Twitter going on now between Derek Carr's success with the Saints and the Raiders having a struggled start.
Listen, he chose the Saints for a reason.
100%.
They have a freaking cakewalk.
And play in a dome.
Please.
And have a great defense.
He ain't no dummy.
He ain't no dummy.
He's going to do well. That's the way it is.
No, he's not.
Don't look at him.
No, he's
well,
not.
the team in general, I think, is going to, because the division is such a
they're dog shit.
Dump. Yeah.
He's by far the best quarterback in that
Right,
division.
yeah.
So I can just see this thing
Yeah.
coming a mile away
Yeah.
of what's going to happen on the social medias. But and I will just say that I'm not going to let it influence,
Right.
our opinion of that. And it ain't about Derek, but I'm talking about just as there is a certain component of Raider
talking
fans
point.
that are still
Literally
talking
every
about
Raider fan is going to look at that all season
All
long.
season, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
you don't think that week 1 game between the Titans and Saints is on our freaking radar?
Go
like,
Titans.
Like, heck yeah, let's go Titans, man. I mean, it's on my radar. I mean, other than the fact that they're an AFC team, and we might have to compete with them in terms of AFC championship, seeding for wild card or even to make a playoff spot or whatever. But aside from that, like, because and I say this not because I'm trying to like root down Derek per se, but like the narrative, like that's what I don't want to. That's what I'm rooting against.
Yeah.
I'm rooting against the narrative and not necessarily the player.
David
you know what
C
I mean?
in the chat says the NFC South or whatever it is. Atlanta first, Panthers second, Saints third, Bucks fourth.
Wow.
It's very possible, man, because I'm telling you.
I don't think so, man.
I'm
Bryce
t-
Young's gonna freaking put the Panthers in second spot on there.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I
There's
don't know, man.
I
Their
feel like
defense is good.
There's a
They got a good
quarterback.
defense.
There's a rookie quarterback every year that goes the league goes, whoa, like okay, maybe this guy's
that's
the
true.
truth.
That's
I
true.
think this year it might be them. I mean it might
Probably
be them.
more Bryce Young than C.J. Stroud.
CJ Stroud is ass, bro.
I do think that
Yeah,
Carr
freaking
will
break on
Carr
that guy.
as well. So he is going
I think he's gonna have a good
He
season.
has a ceiling. And not anything's going to rise him above that ceiling. So I
Well,
think he will Carr.
Hey, listen,
Which
if
is
it's,
he's not a bad. I mean, he will
Sure.
do good things, but he also has a ceiling.
well, and we're gonna find out real quick because that Titans secondary is no joke. Their defense, frankly, is all pretty damn good. You got Jeff Simmons coming up the middle there, man. He's gonna put a lot of pressure on Derek early, force Derek into some throws, and guess what? You got Kevin Byard, MTSU represent back there, lurking around, man. Like we'll find out real quick. But anyways, I don't want to make this about Derek, but and the Saints. But yeah, I think that it's just a realistic approach to the schedule is where I'm coming from, and so we'll see, and I hope I'm dead ass wrong and we freaking run them all off. All right, so here's where we hear from you, because more of you and less of us is a good thing.
Yep.
We call it the Sea of Fans mailbag, and you can email the show at any time by emailing us at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. That is SHOW at RaidersFanRadio.com, and we appreciate everybody that's reached out this week. And you can also call the show. Here, Jeff, why don't you read this first one? Let's see. This comes from our good buddy, Vegas Raiders Pete, who emailed the show. And let's go ahead and check in with Vegas Raider Pete and see what he has to say.
Absolutely. As a lifelong Raider fan who's lived in Las Vegas since 1994, I have a unique take on the Las Vegas stadium issues. Remember, Vegas is a melting pot with fans from everywhere, mostly California and Cowboys fans, those short bus clowns. So no built-in Raider fans. Also, one thing that sealed the deal was the $750 million public room tax money to Mark Davis. Nevada was having trouble making payments after the pandemic, so the tourism people openly recruited fans from other cities on the schedule to fill the room, hence different fans. Add that to the most expensive tickets in the NFL and the tourist sports capital that prices out most of us locals to strip events are huge factors. It turns out the shadow ticket buyers reselling on the second market pushed the prices sky high. So it's not Oakland where the only hardcore fans showed up. We had to lower the capacity to avoid blackouts. Living in Las Vegas, I see the discussion every day on local media, and people outside the market have no reference to this information. Murf knows, I'm sure. Las Vegas is a tourist city who welcomes everyone from everywhere, and those bumpkins from the Midwest will pay literally anything to visit Las Vegas for a weekend and see their team there. I haven't missed one game, and on TV, the Raiders crowd is loud as hell. The loudest being when Chandler Jones walked it off. It's an evolving situation. It's important that the stadium is full. The Raiders franchise value is up 49%. The business side and facilities top shelf. Sports is a business first and game second. Improve the team continuously with Ziegler and McDaniels. Stability is needed, and if you're fortunate to attend, convert those fans to the dark side. I love this roster. Let's get 10 wins and get in the playoffs. Let's roll the dice. Vegas Raiders Pete.
Hey, good job, Pete. Appreciate you, my friend. And so interesting discussion point there. So the Raiders are worth, as we know now, $6.2 billion.
There you go.
22% more than last year when they were 5.1. The team made over $90 million in ticket revenue last season, number one in the NFL, and the Raiders also made an additional $70 million off non-NFL events at Allegiant Stadium. And where I'm not going to necessarily like tout that as like, yay, Raiders, we're rich or whatever. It does foster success. And that was one of the things that was a big conversation point and a challenge for us in Oakland was the idea that we couldn't, not that we couldn't participate like in free agency like we would want to, but there are certain, look, when you have cash flow challenges because of the stadium and all that stuff and just really, you guys all know everything going on around it. It just provided a lot of additional challenges that other teams weren't having to deal with. And now that's not in the conversation anymore. So while I'm not going to sit here and like celebrate the idea that like, yay, billionaires are more billionaire-y, like, you know what I mean? But I will say that I'm glad our team is successful on the business side of it. And I think that the other thing too is that anybody, and I won't name any names, Dr. Death, that shouted down the Raiders and the moves that Mark Davis was making and like their vocality around how he didn't know what he was doing and he was making bad decisions and he wasn't worthy as an owner and blah, 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 bullshit. All that stuff gets thrown completely out the window. And I think that as a person on the outside looking in, as a consumer, when you look at and you consider other, whether it's media members or other fans' opinion, they don't know shit. Nobody knows shit. Like that's ultimately what this means is that like you can't tell me 5 years ago, the people that were, you don't hear any of them now. Like, and there was more than just that one guy. There was tons of them telling us how trash the Raiders were and how unsuccessful they were going to be in Vegas and blah, 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 blah. And it's all freaking wrong. All of it. Yeah. And so you got to consider the source when you're looking at like, and again, it's not even just fan created opinions. It's the media too. Like you got to consider at this point now, and I'll get off my soapbox here in a minute. Wait, hold on. I got a soundbite for that too.
We have our very own digital soapbox here.
Yeah, that's right. So like, you got to consider multiple outlets, multiple opinions, and then critically think your way to what you ultimately will land on. Everything else has typically got an agenda or a narrative. Don't listen to Mike Florio exclusively. Don't listen to Mike Lombardi. Don't listen to freaking, fans that are going to tell you that the Raiders are going to suck in Las Vegas. Like it didn't happen. So anyways, that's what my biggest takeaway and learning thing from that. All right, is it my turn? Sorry, I rambled like crazy there. Apparently I had too much coffee before the show.
Nice.
It is my turn. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I get. Michelle brought us nitro cold brews.
Yeah.
Respect Starbucks.
So good.
So good. Oh my gosh. All right. Good morning. I hope everyone had a great holiday weekend.
Yeah, we did. Thanks for asking.
I spent part of mine at Chuck E. Cheese Pizza at a birthday.
Oh my God, I love Chuck E. Cheese.
Some doing honeydew list, working out, and catching whatever college football I could get. That is right. Football is back. And I'm writing this email. We are 5 days from kicking some donkeys in the teeth. The Raiders will always have naysayers and haters, but this has to be the most Raiders versus world season in history. The media is saying that the Raiders will win 3 games. Oh. Yeah, that's a lot of the talk out there. You have people in Raiders media shitting on the team. Vic Tafer, he's not wrong there. There's a lot of haters, man. There's a freaking ton, man. Like, why do you hate on the team that you cover? I've never understood that. And you have people in his fan base hoping the Raiders will fail because they hate Josh McDaniels. I mean, you guys know how we feel about that. I can't for the life of me understand why so-called Raiders fans would hope for failure. Well, it seems that Clay Baker, Lindsey Brown, Vinny Bond Sr., and JT the Brick are sick of the bullshit. The Clay Baker show has a bully board, and JT is encouraging Raider Nation to take receipts of all the disrespect. The Raiders are going to shock the world this year. Bet on that. Amen. And that comes from James Williams, who puts in quotes, "Life will put many red lights in front of you, but sometimes we must push the gas and trust God." Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good stuff, James
Much
Williams.
respect, James.
Much respect, James. Yeah, man, it's good stuff. And I'm going to keep it brief and let's get around. Who's next? I think Michelle,
I got one.
Jeff's got next. A lot of the old beat writers and stuff from the Oakland days are sour grapes because the Raiders did move away from Oakland and then they were successful. So again, going back to that whole thing, it made a lot of people wrong and they don't like that. So their feelings are hurt and they get all sour grapes and get in their feelings. And so they shit on the Raiders at every opportunity that they can. And And I think that we as Raider fans have learned to gravitate more towards the people that just report the news.
Right.
Like, save me the freaking slander. Just give me the skinny, man.
Yeah.
Let me know what the guys look like in practice today. Let me know, there's so many dopey ass questions that get asked in press conferences and stuff. Like, save your freaking narratives, man. Like, just give us the news. Like, that's all we ask for as consumers. And I'm imploring you beat writers, man, that are out there. Like, look, whatever your personal feelings are about Mark Davis or the Raiders or anything else, like, that doesn't resonate with us as fans. No one likes it. So save it. Just give us the goddamn news.
There you go. What's up, RFR crew? I've been thinking about something y'all talked about on the last show, and I thought I would send you guys an email. On the show the other day, everyone was very quick to jump on the hate for the new head coach, saying stuff like he'll never make it, he should be fired, because you don't like him. Here's the thing. If he goes out and wins 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 games, as a true fan, you should be able to stand behind him and your team. I say that because I'm a diehard Atlanta Braves fan. During spring training, they were not playing that good, and fans turned on the coach and players because they said that they sucked and needed to be replaced. So fast forward now, they're one of the best teams in baseball and have the same fans now saying that, oh, we love the team and how they turned it around. Here's the thing. A true fan stands by his team through good and bad. But you watch when the Raiders have a good season, those same people will be praising the coach that hated on him before. And in my eyes, those aren't real fans. They're just bandwagon fans. Big Country.
Hey, Big Country. Thank you.
Much respect,
Thank you,
Big Country.
All right. It's me. Good evening, RFR crew. Hooligan here again. Thank you, Murf, Swaggy, and Michelle, for giving me an hour to stop watching the clock until game time. I know we could talk about the 265-pound elephant in the room, but I refuse to go down that road. The media won't be happy unless there's drama in our locker room. For now, let's just say the time for talking is past. Now is the time for action. So let's go out there on Sunday and whoop them donkeys' asses. Now we're talking. Keep the Las Vegas undefeated against Denver and allow Russell Wilson to go back to kissing babies. Hooligan Nation signing off. Just win, baby. Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah. Thank you, Hooligan. All right, I think I got next. Oh, this is from Matthew Mangus. Hello, RFR fam. Well, after a week of returning to my Jedi training and at the request of my Jedi Master Murf, I have agreed with his statement, and it's impossible to see the future. I also agree with Murf that I will never actively root for McDaniel's downfall. Josh McDaniels is my head coach, and as long as Mark Davis says he has a job, I will continue to support him. Speaking of Mark, can we stop dumping on him as an owner? Because he has what Al Davis never had, and that's patience. He knows Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a football team. Finally, I watched the Bussing with the Boys interview with both Ziegler and McDaniels. Both seem willing to turn this thing around, and things could go our way. I see 7 and 9 wins for the Raiders, but I honestly don't know. That's all for this twin. Yours truly, Matthew M., proud made man, 2 times Gemini Man winner. P.S. Bleep the Denver Donkeys.
Nice.
Good job, Matthew.
Yes, great job.
F them indeed.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, all of them.
Oh.
All of them. Okay, this is from Daniel. Yeah. Dear RFR.
I'm just getting the button ready for the potty mouth Mangus. Yeah.
The time has come. Raiders football is back. And now it's time for record predictions. Week 1 at Broncos, W. Seriously, I don't know why the experts are drinking the Broncos Kool-Aid. They know it tastes like underachievers. The Raiders go into Denver and kick the dog out of the Broncos.
Let's go.
Yeah, week 2, Buffalo, L. The Raiders take an L to Buffalo because unless Peters turns back the clock and picks off Allen 4 times, I don't see a world where we win. Week 3 versus Pittsburgh, W. The Raiders feed off the nation and win on Sunday Night Football. This is why I predict Peters makes a house call and fulfills a childhood dream, leaps into the black hole. Week 4, Chargers, W. The Raiders win in their home, away from home, and win in front of the nation. Week 5, Packers, W. The Raiders put love in the grass early and often and prove why they're the kings of Monday Night Football.
Oh.
Week 6.
Hear that swag, Jeff?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Swag. Are you listening? Week 6 versus Patriots, W. The Raiders beat the Patriots in front of the nation easily and end the Belichick era in New England. Week 7, Bears W. The Bears are destroyed by Max Jones and the Raiders D-line, and the Raiders prove the win streak is no fluke. Week 8, Lions L. The Raiders lose a hard-fought game on Monday Night Football, but they go toe-to-toe with the Lions. Week 9, Giants W. The Raiders beat the Giants in Waller's homecoming. Daniel Jones folds under the pressure brought by the Raiders D-line and throws 4 interceptions. Week 10, Jets W. The Raiders sweep the New York teams and improve to 8-2. Week 11, Dolphins L. The Raiders lose a tight game, but I think this game comes down to Tua. If he's on, we lose. If he doesn't play or is off, flip the L to a W. Week 12, Chiefs W. The Raiders send shockwaves to the NFL by putting the regaining defending champions through the table, and Tyree Wilson will win the game on a strip sack of Kermit.
Oh, love it.
I like that.
That's good.
Week 13, bye week. The Raiders come into the bye week at 9-3 and have postseason football in their sights. Now go and take it. Week 14, Vikings W. The Raiders beat the Vikings handily. Their defense is ass. Straight hot garbage. Jimmy G throws for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a blowout win for the Silver and Black. Week 15, Chargers W. The Raiders beat the Chokers again in Allegiant to improve to 11-3. Week 16, Kansas City L. The Raiders lose on Christmas, but not by a blowout. I think it's going to go down to the wire in Kansas City, and it will come down to who can make the big game-changing play. But if we win, I'm taking a Merry Christmas plunge in a pool. Week 17, Colts W. The Colts are undergoing a painful rebuild, and this L makes them contenders for the number 1 overall pick, so you're welcome, Colts fans. Week 18, Broncos W. The Raiders black out Allegiant and kicking the Donkeys' ass and send them back to the drawing board. Final record, 12-4. AFC West Division champs. Pack your bags, RFR crew. We're going to Vegas for the playoffs.
Let's go.
I love this email. That's all from this twin. Football season is back. Let Nashville hear it. Raiders. Yours truly, Daniel Mangus, proud made man, half of the reigning defending Gemini Man Award winner, Die Hard Raiders.
Let's go. Nice job.
I love that. 12-4.
Nice job, Daniel. Nice job, Matthew. We got the double man guy.
Double
here.
dip on the man guy.
Heck yeah, man.
Like the Doublemint twins. That's an old reference. Okay. Evening, everybody. I hope you're all well.
We are.
A serious but important start to my email this week. Next Monday is the 22nd anniversary of 9/11, and as I do every year, I want to pay my respects to all those who were affected directly or indirectly by those events.
Amen.
I have absolutely no idea where those 22 years have gone, but I do know that when I see any of the footage from that day, it still chills me to the bone and reduces me to tears. People will tell you they can remember exactly where they were and what they were doing at the time, and I'm no different. There are many images from the day that stay with me, but the overriding one is the extraordinary bravery of the emergency services. As hundreds of people were running away from hell, they were running towards it. Incredible people, and they should never and will never be forgotten. Amen.
Wow,
God,
that was an
I'll
amazing
never,
sentiment there.
never
Thank you.
Forget.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk football because we're only 4 days away from seeing our boys take the field at the Colorado home for the bewildered. The house that the house
I love Paul, man. He's the best.
So damn good. He's the royal scribe for a reason.
Amen.
Well, yeah.
The house that Mr. Ed built. The piss hole in the
Wilbur Wilson.
The piss hole in the mountains that is Mile High Stadium.
Jeez, Paul.
And that stupid ass bitch on her white horse.
Oh my gosh, that's such a deep cut.
That's a deep cut.
That's a deep cut.
Deep cut.
That's amazing, Paul.
I'm nervous, excited, anxious, and ready to see us kick some donkey ass. I've held off till now with my season predictions because of a couple of positions, namely defensive tackle and linebacker. If I'm being honest, I was hoping for more to be done to fill the positions, and because I still see them as weaknesses, I'm calming my expectations or trying to. I stated a while back that I believe there are 8 or 9 games on the schedule that could go either way, and I believe that we will go 3-3 in the division. So with that being said, I believe we'll end up around the 9-8 or 10-7 area at best. I do think we'll improve in a number of areas going forward, but I don't think we're ready for a playoff run just yet. We still have too many what-ifs to deal with for now.
See, Paul, thank you. It makes a lot of sense, guys.
Yeah, y'all are both wrong.
I
though.
don't know. Yeah, I feel like he makes.
Keep dogging the friggin' Broncos, Paul.
Yeah. Let's go, back to that. Let's go back 2 paragraphs. Yeah.
Same.
Mary Kate and Ashley moment.
Mary Kate and Ashley. I do think we'll improve in a number. Oh, I said that. We still have to. Okay, I said that. I'm more than happy to be wrong, though, and you are, and we'll gladly eat crow if we hit the playoffs in January. One thing is for certain. When those guys run out onto the field on Sunday, I'll be ready to run through a wall for each and every
Let's
one of them.
go.
Truth. Let's take one game at a time, focus on ourselves, and who knows, we might just shock the world. 4 days, baby. Let's.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Let's try it again. Let's go again. 4 days, baby. Let's go. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi. Polly Award winner 2019-2022. Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020. BRT Sizzler scorekeeper. Proud made man.
Five time times 2 plus 1
Winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Attaboy, Paul. Crushing it.
Paul, your name Paul?
Paul.
I met him with Paul. Who? Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
Damn right you are, man. That was awesome, Paul. That was a good.
So good.
Paul's always bringing the heat on the emails and does not let down headed into week 1. And that you can feel.
That's a great email.
I feel like the emperor over here. I can feel your anger about the Broncos, man. I love it, man. That's just, they're my all-time hated team. I can't, even as good as the Chiefs are nowadays and all that. Let's go around the horn real quick. Like, I don't hate any other franchise. Maybe the Lakers are close, Dodgers are close, but the Broncos, for me, all-time hated. Can't stand them more than any other team in the NFL. Chargers for you.
Outside of the division, the Cowboys.
Oh,
Just
really?
Hate them.
Yeah, you do.
I stopped. I just do. Yeah.
Sorry. It's all the way on a different panel. I have to scroll over too far to find.
It really is Kansas City, but I think because that's who we're chasing. So that's like a
Right,
given.
yeah, well, that's
a given.
I mean,
For right now, for sure.
Chiefs hate is
But the
just
Cowboys?
the standard. But like for me, the reason I'd say the Chargers is just because of the hype that they get. Like, you know what I mean? And not to mention that my family is from the San Diego area.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
true
just-
too. Yeah.
But like the hype they get each and every year, man, and like the 2 fans that they have are cocky as shit about it. You know, and I'm just like, God, I hate that Bob.
I don't know. The Chargers like
R.I.P. By the way.
Oh yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, the price is wrong, bitch. I love it. Everybody and they're talking about their most hit. Chuck Rader says Steelers outside the division. I was a fan since the 70s. I don't know when you joined, Chuck, but I was talking about that earlier. You go to old school Raider fans. The Steelers are the team that they absolutely hate the most. That's Uncle Mosh. My Uncle Mosh, that is absolutely the team that he hates most. And he hates them because the Raiders used to get knocked out by the Steelers back then in the 70s. That's why I hate the Broncos. That's why John Elway is my least favorite athlete in the history of ever. Because they were the ones that used to beat our ass, and the Broncos were going to Super Bowls and then losing. You know what I mean? They weren't even winning Super Bowls. They were just going to Super Bowls. And then I'm even old enough to remember the Rob Lytle non-fumble, which should have been our second freaking Super Bowl win because we'd have smoked the Cowboys in 77.
Yep.
And that's like, that cost the Raiders the dynasty from that era of the Raiders of the early 70s. Yeah, I know we came back in 80 and then, of course, in 83. But like that era of the Raiders, the Stabler, Casper,
would have got Snake
Freddie B,
his second.
like that era of the, and it was the freaking Broncos. And again, it was very Tuck Ruley because it was the officials. It wasn't the Broncos it was the officials that blew the call. But then they go and return to Madden afterwards and go, oh yeah, hey John, sorry, we got that one wrong. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate that.
A lot of good that's going to do now.
A lot of good that's going to do now because I'm telling you. But anyways, yeah, man, I absolutely cannot stand the Denver Broncos. And their uniforms are ugly as shit.
Hideous.
They're hideous and they're obnoxious. Like, oh gosh.
But Kansas City's uniforms are hideous.
They're pretty bad. Actually, you know what? And save me the whole, the powder blue is one of the most classic things. That
Get outta
freaking
here.
Chargers uniform is ass too.
The Chargers
All
and the Titans both have terrible.
terrible.
costumes.
And it's ridiculous that like
Costumes. I meant uniforms.
They
but
are-
costumes.
they are
yeah,
costumes.
They are
Yeah.
costumes.
They're-
They're
they're-
playing football. They're not really playing.
it's so
Clowns.
bad. It's such a contrast to the Raiders, which obviously have the best best uniform in all of football.
Everyone wants to wear silver and black. Everyone.
Amen.
Everyone's got a black alternate. We got the OG black.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, there's just there's so many reasons to hate everybody in our division.
There's so many reasons.
So many reasons. All right, so enough of us. We should do
Yes,
it. Just
we could do this
We should
all
just do a
day.
hater ass episode and just
We
talk
should have
shit
a
about all the
hater-ass
teams we
episode.
hate for various reasons.
And let the chat just be haters with
There's
us.
a lot of
Maybe we
there's a
need
lot
to
of other
vent it
content
out.
creators that do that though.
yeah, but this is different.
Yeah.
This is different because like
we don't usually do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't get me started. Like, we want to talk about like the Ravens. I hate the goddamn Ravens.
I hate
a
the Ravens,
lot.
too. Yeah.
I hate like so much. I hate Tony Saragusa. Rest in peace, dude. But man, your fat ass landed on freaking Rich
fat
Gannon.
bastard.
Fat bastard broke Rich Gannon and cost us another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I hate those teams.
Fat
Yeah.
ass bastard. Yes.
Freaking asshole,
Dude,
man.
Yeah. We
God
should have
dang
an
it.
RFR After Dark where we just fucking
Oh.
shit on everybody.
No beep needed for that one.
Nope.
Nope. But I'm with you on the Cowboys. Like, I mean,
yeah,
the Rams.
Listen,
I
anyone
hate
that
the
dubs
goddamn Rams.
themselves the people's team or whatever the hell they
America's
call it, America's
team.
team.
I can find a reason to
F
hate
that.
literally every other team.
Well, for sure. Yeah.
For the well, that's
I
why
hate
they
the
said that.
I hate the
Most of 'em.
Texans.
That's why
Yeah.
it's us against the world,
That's
man.
right, yeah.
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 You
I
call
hate them
yourself
all.
America's team, though, you're already ready.
It's
You
so
deserve
stupid.
to get
Or like,
shit
remember they
on.
used to say that, like, oh, there's a hole in Texas Stadium so God can watch his favorite football team play.
There you go.
I'm with you, Michelle. I hate the damn
Stupid,
Cowboys.
and
They're
I
so
hate that,
stupid.
yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
Ass, bro.
Terrible. Gosh, man. Freaking football,
Whoa,
man.
that's really a
We
way
should
to
do
bring
it.
up. We should do
We
an
should
RFR
we'll do
After
that
Dark where we just
after dark and do it, and we'll do it like in the off season.
Yeah.
And it'll just be
Yes.
it'll be the hate episode.
grievances where we just air our
That's it.
grievances.
That's it. We'll start
Come
the
in
show.
locked and
We'll-
loaded.
We'll play the Autumn Storm by Uncle Mosh
Yes.
to start the show about all the things he hates, and then we'll
Yes.
just it's just a hate show.
Yeah,
I
and
love
if
it.
it's off season, even some things that may not be, maybe they're football adjacent that we have issues with.
100%.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, starting the Seahawks. There's an old AFC West rival. We can't
Oh,
stand.
that's
Talk about
true.
ugly
Talk
uniforms.
about ugly
They've
uniforms.
Let's
Kill
redo
Jadis
our
will call
uniforms
in on
and make
that
them
one.
uglier.
Yeah. This shit isn't
Who loves
ugly.
highlighters?
It's
Ooh,
not.
the Seahawks.
It's not ugly enough.
It's not. Yeah, go uglier.
Go uglier.
Yeah.
We want to
Skill
stand
Jadis
out.
will have a lot to say about the Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
He'll
yeah.
call in for
Yeah,
that.
absolutely, he will. Oh my gosh. All right. So speaking of call-ins, thank you, Michelle, for that segue.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of call-ins, you can call the show at any time at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. And if you leave a message and we play it 3 times, I'm gonna figure it out. If you leave a message and we play it 3 times on the show, we refer to you as a made man or a made woman. And we've got a lot of made folks in there tonight, a bunch made men. And so let's go ahead and start off by checking in with our good buddy, CPA Joel, CPA of the One Nation Foundation, and hear what he has to say.
Hey, Michelle, Swag and Murf. This is CPA Joel, King Nerd of Raider Nation. I just want to call in and share a story. Since this year we are paired up with the NFC North as our NFC opponents. That includes the Green Bay Packers. Part of this reason for this call is that last week I went back to California to visit with my in-laws because Phil Ilton passed away. He was a big cheesehead, really great guy except for that fact, and spent his entire life as a Lutheran minister. So I had actually taken him to the Raiders-Packers game 4 years ago at Lambeau because, let's just say it, it's a really cool stadium to visit. Raiders fans, you should all go. We made a good showing. I would say it was about 15 to 20% Raiders fans that day. But I took Phil there and his young niece and nephew that weren't so young because he was 84. They were in their 50s. But I took 3 cheeseheads to go see a game at Lambeau and watch the Raiders get brutalized and also see he who shall not be named fumble into the end zone for the second time in his career for a touchback.
Why you gotta bring up all that shit?
Trigger warning.
One thing that I have to say in honor of Phil was that he and the rest of the cheesehead loyalty there were really, really great hosts. which I'm sure it's easy to do when you're winning 42-17 or whatever the end score was.
Jeez.
One thing I did, and one thing that every parent and every grandparent should remember, is that football is something that you carry with you for life. I believe that was something for his family, as it is for the Denning family, animal mother, and myself. And so I bought 4 Packers hats, and for each one of his kids, he had 4 kids. He wore a hat for each quarter.
Respect.
He embroidered their names
right
on
on,
them.
Joel.
1, 2, 3, 4. And then every day every week this season, I know they're all going to be wearing their cheesehead Packer hats.
It's cool.
In remembrance of Phil, who passed away in July. So rest in peace, Phil. I hope
Absolutely.
Packers don't beat the Raiders this year. It's been like way too long since we beat them handedly. So, hey, go Raiders. Screw the Packers. Raider Nation forever. Goodbye.
Oh, what a nice
Respect, Joel.
voicemail, man. Good stuff. He's a good dude, man.
That's why you're in our inner circle.
Really
That's right.
fun though about because our old neighbors are Broncos fans. I remember when they moved in, and we were like, oh,
Yeah.
we saw it on their car when they pulled up, but they become really great friends. So every season when we play Denver at home at their, we go to his house and then he comes to our house.
Oh,
for
fun.
Oh,
That's
that's
cool.
kind of neat.
That's
yeah,
cool.
so it's really cool, like having we went, in fact, to the Nashville draft with him and his brother, who's a Titans fan. So, like, he was a Denver fan, we had a Titans fan, and then me and Devin were the Raiders fans. But, yeah, there's something really, football just brings people together.
Absolutely.
So, you can have, rivalries and you can hate other teams. But having fan friends is like having an extended family.
Absolutely.
It's really cool.
You know what? And having turned the calendar a handful of times now, I've met a lot of different fans of a lot of different teams. And still to this day, like I've got a buddy that's a Cowboys fan. I've got a buddy that's a Colts fan. I've got a buddy that's a Dolphins fan. I've got a buddy that's a Bears fan. I've got a lot of friends of that are fans of other teams. And we still, when it comes up, one of the guys that I work with is a friend of mine, a big Panthers fan. If the Raiders are playing the Panthers, we're talking shit to each other. Like it's our, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it's always cool to like hear from those people whenever those times come up. And it's cool because you're right. It connects us and we can, I hate the Broncos. I don't hate Broncos fans per se, unless they do something or say something obnoxious.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But like outside of that, like if I can respect someone that's got as much passion for their team as we do ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and frankly, we do passion better than any other fan base, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So if someone else is even close to that level, you got my respect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Our friend, the friend I was just talking about, one of my favorite pictures is Lamont holding his son Renner, and he's really little. And Lamont's in Raiders gear because we're over at their house because they're playing at Denver. And Renner's in his little Denver gear, but he's got his iPad or whatever, and he's showing Lamont something. And it's just like, he's sitting in his
sweet.
lap as a Denver
Yeah.
fan. It's just it's the cutest picture, but at the same time, I'll boo your ass. I don't care how old you are. Boo. I will. In a hot minute, I will. But yeah, it brings people together. Football does.
Who was it that made a kid cry at a tailgate? Was that you?
It wasn't at a tailgate, but it was at a party at Jeff's.
Oh,
And
that's
I
what
did
it was.
boo
Oh, that's what it was.
for wearing a Titans.
Oh yeah, she
Sorry,
did. Yeah,
her pajamas.
But you know what? But hey, speaking of my daughter.
Hey, choices, Charlie.
Hey, speaking of my
You want
daughter.
to be like us? Or
I gotta give
right,
I
that was
got I
great.
do I
give
gotta give
Charlie
respect.
respect,
I gotta
yeah.
give respect to my kids. So over the course of the last week, they've both had Jersey Day at school, and they've both been rocking Raider gear. And so I take my daughter to school every morning, and every morning now for the past 4 or 5 days, she goes, "Hey, Dad, can we listen to Raider Colors by Too Short?" I'm like,
"Oh,
hey!" And I got a video. I'll have to show you guys
Yes,
off the air.
please.
She can rap it.
Okay.
She's like rocking out. She's like, every day I stay the same, looking like I'm going to a Raider game. I'm like, like the proudest dad moment of all time. Like,
okay, first of all, I need
it.
to see that video. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's so
good job,
dude.
Swaggo. That's good dadding
You're
right
such a
there.
good dad.
Raise them right, raise them Raiders.
That's
man.
it. That's it.
All right. Next up, let's go to our buddy T-Hom, and let's hear from T-Hom. So he does a little bit of a bit here. For those of you that are familiar with Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets, this is T-Hom doing those two guys talking about the game. What a mashup that is. The Muppets and the Raider Bronco game. But hey,
Makes sense.
much respect, man.
Yeah, it's
Here
not
we go.
Chiefs week, is it?
Right?
Right? Yeah.
The Muppets.
Oh, and speaking of Chiefs Week, so somebody in the chat room was saying that you guys should start off every show by playing Uncle Mosh's rant about the ketchup and mustard.
Every time we play the Chiefs,
Every
we do.
time we play the Chiefs, we play the Autumn Storm. Absolutely. But all right, here we go. Let's check in with T-Hum.
The Broncos are 5-point favorites on Sunday. Does that mean they're supposed to win by at least 5? No, it means that 5 is their favorite number of points to score. Oh, okay. Well, I hear Russ Wilson is no longer saying let's ride. Well, they misunderstood him in the first place. He was actually asking a question. Well, how do the Broncos actually expect to win on Sunday? Well, they don't. Because to be a proper Bronco, you have to be broken. Speaking of broken, are the Raiders going to actually fix some things this year? Yeah. And they're going to start by fixing Denver on Sunday. This has been two old guys in the balcony on Raiders Fan Radio. Just win, baby. Just win, baby. Who said that? Who said that? Me.
All right, there you go, T-Hum.
There you go, T-Hum.
Nice job, T-Hum. Oh, my gosh. Too funny. All right, next up, let's check in with our buddy. I love this guy. We hadn't heard from him in a hot minute. He's down there in Alabama in the 703. Let's check in with our good buddy, Josh.
What's up, fam? I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm so proud of Jeff. He had me worried.
Go, Jeff.
I'm a huge NWA fan, and he was struggling with that line. I'm like, man, he gotta learn this. I had to call him like, what the hell, bro? It's just so synonymous with fucking the Raiders, the NWA, and everything. And it always makes me think about another line from a song. Had to change it up a little bit for obvious reasons. Basically, it goes, real nation, quick to get in your shit without a second thought. If your ass gets smoked, it's my bullet you caught. So if you're talking shit about the nation in black, bow down to the King's Raider hat. Man, f*** the Broncos.
Let's go!
Attaboy, Josh. I love it, man. We missed those. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's somebody. Oh, my gosh. It's
I
always.
can't.
Yeah, it's
You got the button.
I know, but I got to scroll over. It's always a man.
There it is.
Something. But anyways, good stuff there from John. What? What, jackass?
You're stupid, man.
Shut up,
man. The something. Hey, don't tell us about your life.
The something.
Man, the something.
Fill in the blank.
Shut up, both of you. Almost got me in cursing. Jackasses. Oh my God. All right.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Murph. Now on to the next one. Hey, and much respect to Chuck Rader in the chat, who's just become a member. Absolutely. Hey, Chuck. So send an email right after the show's over to Michelle at RaidersFanRadio.com, and she will send you one of these amazing, unique. What do you call those?
They're
things?
block prints.
Block print.
Yeah.
The three of us are going to get tattooed somewhere on our body for sure.
Yeah, probably in November. Yeah. All right. Next up, let's go to our good buddy. He is up there in Alaska. He calls himself the northernmost Raider fan. He is Kiljadis, and he always calls in, or a lot of times, calls in with his conversations with him and Macho Raider Savage.
Ooh, yeah. Keep alive for maybe the job. It's the Macho Man Raider Savage, your Raiders Fan Radio World Heavyweight Champion. And this is the most wonderful time of the year, RFR, with the refs whistle blowing and the fans are going to be chugging down some beer. Football season's here, yeah. A lot has happened with the Raiders in the offseason. We said goodbye to Derek Carr and hello to Jimmy Garoppolo. Whatever. We signed Jacobs to a new contract after his holdout left us with a small heart attack. Hoo-wee. But you know something? I got a special feeling about this team. Yeah. This team is going to turn some heads and shock the world. They actually put us third to last on the list of being in last place. Well, to that I say that you don't bet on red on the roulette table. You always bet on black. And when I mean black, I mean the silver and black. Ooh, yeah. You're gonna have us figured out, don't you, main sports media? Well, the Macho Man Raider Savage is gonna tell you that you're gonna have to get yourself a giant spoon for the amount of words and predictions you're gonna have to eat. Hope your bellies are empty, because the Raiders are gonna make you eat your words until you are sick of them. We have revamped our defense with a new rookie that's going to be Max Crosby 2.0. We got a rookie quarterback that's going to be the future. And if needs be, take the reins from Jimmy G that if he comes down with another injury. The offense and defensive lines are stacked like a pile of flapjacks. And our new linebacker core is going to make the tight end soar. While defensive backs and wide receivers are going to be screaming for more as they gather a score upon scores of turnovers and touchdowns galore. Josh Jacobs and Zeus are going to be running away with the rushing title, and they'll lead the league in rushing by more than a mile. It's like the chains of McDaniels has been cut off to where he can now fully display his own mastery. So don't you come at me with the no blasphemy. The future is so bright. I'm going to wear an extra page of shades, yeah. The Raiders are going 20-0 and win the Super Bowl. So saith the Macho Man.
Shit this year.
What?
I said the Raiders ain't gonna do shit this year.
Why can't you just no?
I am sick and tired of
why can't you just be positive?
No, I am tired of getting kicked in the dick with aspirations and possibilities. So you know what, Raiders? Why don't you do what you have always done, and that is prove me wrong? You ain't gonna make the playoffs. The best that you'll do is go second in the division, but no playoffs. There. Kill Jadis 907 said it. Now it's up to you, Raiders. I dare ya. I double dog dare ya. Prove me wrong. If you got the fucking balls to do it. But I bet you don't.
You missed
so,
one.
Bring on.
I didn't listen to it. I didn't think he was going to curse. Jeez, Kill Jadis. Oh my gosh.
Respect, dude. Hey.
I never hit one that hard. That
Jeez,
was
no, that was
that was live look at Kill Jadis. Watch.
Wait.
That was how he looked right there. Holy cow.
Gosh, yeah.
He reared back for that
He
one.
reared
Yeah, he
back.
did.
Oh, went on that one.
That was a
He
haymaker.
had some soul behind
That
that
was a
one, bro.
haymaker there. Yeah.
There
Jeez,
you go.
okay.
Get you some of that,
All
bro.
right. Sorry about that, guys. Should have previewed that one first. All right. Jeez, I didn't expect that. Okay, so you're supposed to bleep the. I'm trying not to proofread everything from you guys, man. Anyways.
Give us a heads up if you.
Yeah, give us a heads up at least. Yeah. Jeez.
Kill Jadis.
You got one
he
of
says,
those.
sorry, kids at home. I mean, it's been a 2-hour and 43-minute show, so you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids are already in bed at this point.
That's all right.
Better him than me. I'm glad he did it and I didn't.
There you go.
There you-
Yeah,
hey, there you go.
You hit that one hard.
You might have hit one earlier. So.
Oh yeah.
Double whammy.
Yeah, both of y'all
I
hit
think
one.
I think you're the only one that
I'm the
hasn't
only
said
one
it
that
yet.
hasn't.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
about,
right.
before the show's over. Don't worry.
No, you're good.
Jeff's is like, where can I squeeze one in?
Yeah, right? Yeah,
Just get the Kill Jadis face and rev it up. Go ahead.
No. I did it once. That was all I needed to do. I don't want to do this shit
I'm
again.
going to screenshot that, and that's going to be the thumbnable for this show.
Please.
Rat bastard. Please don't.
I'm going to put hearts
Love
around
those
your head and everything.
Oh my gosh, you're so stupid.
All right. All right, next up, let's cleanse the palate and check in with our good buddy down there in Houston.
Cleanse the palate, yeah, because he don't do F-bombs.
No, he doesn't do
literally
F-bomb.
cleanse the palate.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but you know what we're gonna do with this call.
Oh my
You're damn
gosh,
right
that's
we are.
right. It is our good friend down in Houston. He is Houston Raiders Steve.
Murf, my swag Jeff Nation, made men and made women. Let me ride that donkey.
Yes.
Let me ride that donkey. Let me ride that donkey.
Freeze.
Let me ride that donkey.
one
Let
more
me
verse.
ride that donkey. Let
Oh.
me ride that donkey. Let me ride that donkey. Please. Let me ride that donkey. 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 Please. Goodbye.
Please. that last
Let's
please.
go.
Please, he meant it.
Oh my gosh, that was like a desperation please.
was.
Like, please be good Raiders.
Please.
Anyways, the good stuff there from our good buddy Houston Raiders Steve. All right, so let's get on out of here. It's almost a 3-hour show, but before we do that, we have to award a Sizzler Award, which goes out to the best emailer or phone caller of the night. And so Swag Jeff has that duty, and let us know who won.
Absolutely, man. So we had a bunch of emails and voicemails. Thank you to everyone, and much respect to everyone that contacted the show. And if you want to do that, you can call us 909-345-3346 or show@RaidersFanRadio.com. You could do any of those things. And we had a slew of them tonight. Emails. We started off Vegas Raider Pete, James Williams, Big Country, Hooligan Nation, the Meng Guy, and Paul with some killer emails for sure. We started off with the voicemail. CPA Joel telling us a really awesome story from Lambeau Field. Much respect to you. T-Hom bringing the Muppet Gold. Josh in the 703. Kill Jadis that Macho Man is back, man. That's all we got to say. And Houston Raider Steve riding that donkey, man. Tonight's Sizzler Award goes to a guy that gave much respect to the crew and said, man, F the Broncos or F the something. It is Josh in the 703.
Hey, Josh.
Sizzler. We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today. From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
13-4.
Beat the Bronco.
With Garoppolo. We are truly the dog whistle of Raiders podcasting. If you hear it, you hear it.
Yeah,
You get it, you get it.
That's it.
All right, the intro music is hit. They're playing me off the stage.
Outro.
But yes, absolutely.
Sure. God, I don't have another 3 hours in me.
I know, right now. We got to tap out before
Maybe I
3.
do.
But, appreciate everybody in the chat room. Swag Jeff, shout them out. But before you do, thank you to everybody and all your amazing donations tonight. 100% of your money is going to go to the One Nation Foundation. It is officially football season.
Let's go.
Let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go. Cannot wait for Sunday. Let's kick ass. What do you got, Michelle?
Yeah, listen. Football. It's go time. Sunday.
It's
It's
time.
a W. Let's go.
Absolutely right, man. It is time for sure. Thanks to everyone for contacting the show tonight, making the show what it was. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Bugsy Raider, Len Show, DJ Lenny Danger, Jay Jackson, Kill Jadis, Ty Davis, Paul Edgerton, Wowza. Let's see. Ron the Mater Raider, Chuck Raider, Storm, Trinidad. Let's see who else in there. Hooligan Nation, Len Show, PSP Raiderette, Loco Raider. Thanks everyone for tuning in to another episode of Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. Much respect to each and every one of you guys. Don't forget what happens in Vegas, folks. It started in Oakland.
Damn right.
Let's go.
We love you. Much respect. Hey, let's go beat some donkey ass on Sunday, bro.
Please.
Much respect to everybody.
Love you guys.
We love you. See you next week. We'll be 1-0.
Yeah, we will.
You know what to do. Goodbye.